We are here at the closing acumen, guys. Welcome. The others will be joining us soon. My name is Henry Peabody. I'm joining you from the city of Accra, Ghana, the country. But I'm in Accra right now, and been the last few days we've been visiting the Buduburan refugee camp and providing some desperately needed water and food to the refugee camp on that side. So it is so good to be here on the closing acumen. It's a lot of things happening. It's a lot of news that is taking place. So I encourage you to just sit back tight. Welcome, Christian Roberts. Encourage you to just come, sit tight, and let's do this show together. There's a lot that is being unfolded. Listening to Representative Yeka Kaluba on OKFM, and OKFM2 came over another announcement today. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. So we just wanted to invite you, but I'm here. St. Tomalin, George, Keff Hassan, Ben Sanvee, and the rest will be joining us shortly for this show. But I'm going to hold it down until they get here. But greeting from the beautiful city of Accra, Ghana. I've been in Ghana since Saturday. I've been on the Bujuburam refugee camp, and it has been very devastating, folks, to see how difficult it has been for Liberians on the camp. I was there firsthand. Got to see what Liberians have faced with. Uh, they are literally displaced, literally sleeping on the streets. Women and children all piled up in a classroom, and those who don't have the means definitely sleep outside in the street. Uh, it's a terrible thing. I know many of the Liberians have said why they can't go home, why they're not going home, but it's very, very sad, very, very sad uh, to see that. And that's one thing I call on the government of Liberia to really come in and help these people because they are suffering. Liberians are suffering, and it's very inhumane to see how our people are living. Our people are struggling. I mean, as the condition is desperate. People are displaced terribly. So it's not easy. It's not easy. So I encourage you to come up, but to bring some attention to the Liberian government to see how things are going. We'll share with you some picture and some video later about Accra, but it's not a great condition where you see people sleeping or in the streets. It won't be too long when they will get sick and they will die from diseases like uh, cholera and other stuff. Uh, it's sad. It's sad what's going on with our brother and sister, but a lot been going on. A lot have been taking place uh, in Liberia. We listened to Yeke Kaluba, the representative from Marshall County, and he was there today talking about the voucher and other representative called to confirm what was going on. But want to encourage you, want to thank you. Just click share the button as we begin this show. Welcome, Mapu Hall, Christian Roberts. Welcome, Mapu Hall, Belson Pay. Welcome, uh, Robert Kaidi. Welcome, Nora Hope. Welcome, Roosevelt Flubble. It's good to see you guys. Welcome again, man. Welcome to the Closing Acumen. There's a lot of things going on. Some very interesting thing happening in Liberia. We hear about the recovery access team, but just before the recovery access team, we got a lot of corruption going on in the government. So it's very interesting. you got a team to recover, ensure that things work in Liberia, but then you have you have other people that are still doing their that want to still taking things and stuff like that. So so far this will be tough. This week have been tough. What happened in Liberia? St. Tomalin is here. Tomalin 1 minute. 1 minute. Let me just get this going on. Okay. But let me come back. A lot happening. In the government, the president made additional appointment to government, I believe, this week. And we've seen corruption. TRC, we heard on OKFM today about somebody who was recently appointed who took almost $600,000. I don't know, just recently. That's the breaking news that's going to come up, but that was also shared on OKFM. But let me recognize folks that are here. Emmanuel Ma, Alice York, Eng, G-Man Allen, Rizad Sawyer, and others. Welcome, folks. Sit tight. Welcome. 1 minute, sit tight. Welcome, guys. For that, but yeah, so a lot been happening, a lot. So we're gonna unfold everything here to you tonight, everything. But just before the guys come, I just want to share with you about my trip to Accra, Ghana. I'm currently in Accra, Ghana. The last 2 days, I've been in at the Bujuburon refugee camp. I just wanted to get firsthand, and we provided food and a lot of water today for the folks in Ghana. We even went to an orphanage. This is just a picture of the camp, the damages that were caused. And you won't believe there are Liberians that are living right among this because they broke their home down. And they got nowhere to go. So some of them are staying. This is a very beautiful picture here. This lady has an orphanage. She's working with these kids, taking care of them. And the school might go down. They might break it down. So for that reason, only the few kids that are left with her were in school today. Most of the other kids home were broken and torn apart. I know people talk about, oh, they've been there for a while and they cannot go home, and why they can't go home. They've been going. Yes, I know, but this is not a time to. It just the government need to make transportation available. All of them, most of the people I spoke to. To my knowledge, there are 7,000. I mean, 12, 11,000 Liberians that still live on that camp. 11,000 Liberians still live on that refugee camp. I will share more picture later, but the thing, 11,000 live there, and to see them sleeping on the streets, and then I know it's easy to tell them to go home, but I met this lady who shared with me. She said that uh, uh, she was 10 years old when she came to Ghana. Her mom passed, her dad passed, and she know nobody in Liberia, and she's not a Ghanaian. They don't consider her a Ghanaian. So what do you do? If she was to get on a boat or get on a bus and go to Liberia tomorrow, who's she going to? Who's she going to be with? So that's the uncertainty that a lot of the folks are faced with. I met kids who were born on the camp. The only place to know is the camp, and the pass on the birth certificate, it doesn't have. It said born in Liberia, even though they were born in Ghana, but it said Liberian citizen. So it's tough. And we have been there. That we provided water to thousands and thousands of Liberians on that camp, and provided them some food for the camp, the church, and other places yesterday. And today we went back and also helping to relocate that orphanage where Mrs. Nimla is staying with those young children. So it was very interesting to see how they are living now. It's very tough, very difficult for them. And the aim is to get the government of Liberia to take some action. Senator Sir Joseph has promised to make available buses once it is worked out so that those folks can come home. I met a lady yesterday with 4 children. They were living at the church, at the school, and they have 30 people living in a classroom. 30 women and the children live in a classroom. The men sleep outside. But if you go into that classroom, you can pass out. I mean, to see the people and the way they are living and the condition they are living under. There's no electricity there. It's like fire when you enter that classroom. And they put 30 women in a classroom, and the men sleep on an open field. And they have bathroom right there. It's a complete disaster. When I walked through there yesterday and today, uh, this should be an emergency. Uh, the government should take action to get those people home. Do something to get them home, so that your citizen will not die. Hey, bro, what? Good to see you, Ansu. Good to see you. That's we
Yeah.
just we just talking about the plight of Liberian, the condition of Liberian, and
Hmm.
the need for the government to take some action, send, if possible, send buses to get them. A lot of them now are ready to come home. When those I talked to yesterday, they were all saying they are ready because they're living in an open field. They don't even have a tarpaulin to get over them. So if it rain, it's going to rain on them. Some of them went to the market, or the kids went to school.
Hmm.
They just went in and broke them. There's no organization really providing help at this point for them, uh, 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 because the camp is not deemed a refugee camp no more. It's only people who can help go there and give water, give them food, like we did yesterday. We provided water for more than 2 to 3 thousand people, and we provided food for some folks who were staying at a church. And today we went back and helped a young lady who has an orphanage there. But it's a crisis. We don't know. We don't know, bro, but it's a crisis. I was there and I experienced it, and in no word that I can imagine to see people living there. No word I can imagine to see people living there. They are suffering. They are suffering, and they need a lot of help to get them back to Liberia. And I hope government official listening, the speaker, the president pro tem, the ambassador, and the foreign ministry will work out a way of evacuating those people and bringing them home. You don't want them to die in numbers. There are folks right there now who are sick and don't have any means. Yesterday I met a lady who was seriously sick, and she said they didn't have no money to go to the hospital. I had to provide funds for her to go to the hospital. But there are a lot of people like that. And they need help. So the government of Liberia, they they it's an SOS call. If you go to my Facebook page, I'm going to put some of that too on the Person Acumen page. You go there, you will see how deplorable situation it is. They are, literally thousands of people are sleeping on the open field, and there were some of those who wanted to integrate into the culture there were not giving work authorization. It means they cannot work. They say integrate, they give you an ID card, but you're not allowed to work. So I don't know what kind of integration is that. But I know everybody have been talking. Let them go home. Let them go home. But it's just not possible to go home like that. And I hope some assistance will be provided for them to go home, because in no way that people should be living on such barbaric, challenging condition. And I call on the government, people of Liberia, St. Tomalin, Josh, good to see you, my brother. You know, I
Yeah.
call on the people, the government of Liberia, to do something to get those people home. Now, if they refuse to go home now, then something can be done. But I think it's time to get them out of there. They're suffering. They're dying. They will soon start dying from all kind of diseases like cholera and things like that. They will soon start to die because they part up together in one classroom. Thousands of people are part of in different classrooms. And you know what it is. Some people having cold, some people having fever, some people having different things, seizure, other stuff, and they all part together. And it won't be long. So I met a pastor who I was told they broke her home down, and she ended up staying in the church office. That's a new house, and she said she wanted to go home. So well, it was just tough. I want to send a shout out to one of my boy, Oliver. He helped me to take me around Accra. I mean, the camp, and yesterday and today, and all these people who help us to tour the water and tour rice to the various centers yesterday. Want to send a shout out,
Mhm.
but too many. I think over my brother. I just so
Yeah. First of all, let me say, um, Dr. Peabody, I want to say thanks, man. Every year, I've been following you. Every year, you make that journey to Africa, to Liberia, to Ghana. The Liberian missions, you guys are doing an incredible job. I'm a witness to your work. I've traveled with you, and I know exactly what you are doing. Uh, I know what you are doing. So you have been doing a great job. And like I said, only God can bless you and replenish whatever you guys are doing, because despite the issue about the war being over and everything, but you are still making headlines, still doing our best. And we want to say again, thanks again to you and your team. And every year you have to make that journey to Liberia, to Africa, to Liberia and Ghana. You travel at your own expense to do all these things. And I see how you preach, you go around, preach, and just people invite you to preach, and whatever they give you, they bless you with, you put it towards your project. Hand pumps, providing food and everything for people in Africa, especially in Ghana and Liberia. So say thank you again, brother. Just keep it up, and God will bless you. One of the things, the only thing now is that the agency responsible for helping the Liberian refugees, they having problem. President Boyka nominated somebody for that position, but then when the person went to take over, another person said they were already did want to appoint her, so they ain't having that fight. So I don't know how they will manage though. But that's one of the problem they're facing. So electrobarracy is in disarray, and that's what
yeah,
happening.
that's a
So
shame. That's a
yeah,
shame, man. That's a complete shame for El Triple RC. And it's interesting that the government did not have a plan on how do we even name the officials. They don't have a plan. I mean, you're appointing 2 or 3 people to one position, and the other person come and take over all of that. What? I mean, that's a shame. To be honest,
and,
it's
and
a
it's true
big.
though. You talk to the people, you talk to some people, some of the people that are close to the president tell you that it's exactly what we're hearing there. Most of the things that happen, the president is not aware. Some people are doing their own
Mm-hmm.
thing. In fact, I heard
Yeah.
I heard from a very close confidant of the president on Saturday. The president said they said that the second batch of appointments were hijacked by Delon, Youngly, Prince Moy, and that whole group. They said the president not going to make that appointment. That's how come your boy, who should have been the public work minister, you're on our list to be public work.
Wow.
But because they took that list, yeah, how can they did that change? And they wanted the people
Wow.
to be appointed. And I can I say, well, okay, you're carry on. But I can tell you, I was assured they said that it said come in the next 6 months. If there's no results, He said, Tomalin, trust me, President Boga will do reshuffle. He said, the way Joey I didn't reshuffle, then Boga will reshuffle people. I'm telling you now. He said, just watch it. He will reshuffle. And most of the people that are getting appointed in the first half, most of them will do. Because already, some of, as soon as the budget passes, then now people will start getting the cookie jar and so forth. That's how they do it, and they'll get in trouble. And Boga want to set an example on some of them. So we should just watch out for what will happen,
Wow.
Well, again, let me say welcome to our listening public, our viewers for tuning in. Today's Monday, March 25th. Another edition of the closing argument. The Peabody all the weekend. I think as you arrive in Ghana, it's saying that you arrive in Ghana. We were in Maryland and Virginia respectively for the funeral of the late David Von Harris, the brother of
yes.
So you are Spencer and Sis Jerudu. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
all there, and your madam was there. We all were together.
Yeah, my wife. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, all were there. We had a nice time together. Yeah, but how that drivers know how to drive all the way from. I went to rain heavy
Yes,
Saturday morning.
It was raining heavily.
Yeah, I drove there. Then after the Silver Spring, I go to Arlington, Virginia for the repass. Another 1 hour drive again for the repass.
Wow.
So I end up at a high table at Macan's place to sort of my dumb boy. So
she always cooking that good food, man. Macan is always,
of course,
always cooking that good food.
My boy Keff were there. Keff came there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we were there on Saturday. But it was a great weekend. Then on yesterday, the Liberian kid that got shot in Pennsylvania, what was killed. They buried him Saturday. And our man, and Winfred came for the funeral, his sister's son. So after church yesterday, I want to see Winfred, and I had a nice time together too.
Okay. Man, it's sad though. One young man, 21 years old, I believe. And he got killed. Young man.
What hurt me is that they have not found the shooter yet. Yeah, that was hurting me.
They have not found the person yet. Yeah, very close to.
On the bus, the guy from the bus, and according to what I heard yesterday, when the guy from off, he and the boy had a problem on the bus. Argument. The guy from the bus, he got down to go home. He got from the bus too, shot the ball, came back. According to the lady, one of the eyewitness from the Burger King nearby, he came back and shot the ball in your face again to say make sure he killed the ball. Oh my God.
It's sad. It's sad.
But you put our TCA cash app. I don't know how we can keep the program on. The TCA cash app. People be helping us.
We got to keep it going. Yeah. Somebody said request TCA. There's a lady, I think Famula or Miata Family. I don't know if it's a Miata Family or not, but she sent us $25. And last week we had Nora Hope send her $75 and stuff like that. Guys, thank you for your gift. Yeah, Brandel Weeks, thank you very much, man, bro. That's all the little you can do to help your people. We just got to do it, just give back, and that's what we want to do, to continue just helping in any way we can help people. But yeah, guys, so yeah, the Cash App will be up soon. We got it. It's $TCA 2500, and just want you to give, man. Give to the closing acumen. Okay, so we got that up. Give so that we can keep this show going, man. It's not easy to keep it going, but we're doing our best to make sure we bring it to you. But tuning is, it's interesting. I heard a lot of stuff today. I listened to Representative Koluba interview on OKFM, and then in the evening I heard there was another breaking news that Judas Jair did announce about some money that got missing from Nuka at this early stage. I don't know whether you heard that. I don't know how true is that.
Okay, because first of all, I will address the issue of Yeke. Yeke, he did take the voucher to J-Mart that issued the voucher through the Ministry of State to go and get his furniture. He got to Jmart, and then they're telling him that it is not valid. So Yeke went to the police station to carry his complaint. They told him to put it in writing. Yeke said that he will do it. He will put it in writing and submit it tomorrow. And it shows they put in the credibility of the Ministry of State on the line, because the voucher was signed by a Deputy Minister, Cornita Kura. Cornita Kura, I think I think her last name, yeah. But it was signed by her, and she works directly under the supervision of Minister Sylvester Grisby, who's the Minister of State.
Yeah,
and they issue it. But then you can try to test it still. I will go and carry it because it's valid. Because he took it. Don't forget now, last week on Friday, you took it to the scene. Met the guy and confirmed it. Said this is valid. He said yes. Your signature, yes. He confirmed that it was valid, a valid voucher that came from them. So now Yeke want to go pick up his stuff today, and they're telling Yeke is not valid. So Yeke went to the police station to file a complaint. They told him now, say he should do a formal complaint in a document. So he said he's going to do it, and he threatened that if he put it into writing and document it, if the police refuse to honor it, he said that means he will go after the presidency because it came from them. And because you got lawmakers, them like Richard Kuhn, other one name, Prince To, all of them now denying, because you can't expose them, denying about this thing. And it's not fair. Again, it put the institution of the presidency into question, because what happened, like I said, he said this House of Representatives getting $5,000 to fix the offices. They don't get money from the executive mansion to do it. And the U.S. government, they are on notice. People, their voucher is all on Capitol Hill here. It's all around here now. So, Mr. Grace, we got to be very careful. Okay, you got to be very careful because people are now accusing of trying to commit bribery. You Minister of State and Chief of Staff to the President of Liberia, and you play such a dangerous game, it will come to book. And the lawmakers can come and say, "Oh, it's not valid. It didn't happen," but it's already on record. These things in technology, it's already gone viral. So you can score all kinds of names, but is doing the right thing. See what you want to say about him. It's up to you. But he exposed them. It thought they could easily bribe him and get away. But that's what happened. And I wait to see Yeke form a complaint, and we'll follow through with Yeke and see what's happening. As soon as Yeke get it thing going, Yeke will appear anytime. So right now we're leaving Yeke now until the process goes through. But all the guys, I dare Richard Kuhn, I dare Prince To come forward. If they say Yeke is lying, let them come forward to come and disprove him. They shouldn't sit and go on telephone and lie and try to play that game.
But other representatives called the show today. I was listening. 3 or 4 of them called to confirm about that voucher. We had, I can't remember the names, but 4 or 5 that called and said that yes, it was true. That voucher was given to them. They said it was very true. And then you have the other group from Timothy corruption is just starting all over again. I'm serious. Those corruption is just starting all over again. Nothing good really, because you have now the lawmaker going against each other. One person saying that true, another person saying that lie. 5 would say yes. So why would Yeke want to make up a lie? Why would the other represent?
Yeah,
it's starting all over, man.
Yeah, but I think they just thought that. Like I said, most of the guys are broke. So for the $500, carry them quick. Because most of them they're not gonna go get furniture. They tell the man, say, give me my money, take the percentage and give me my cash. What happened? But man, the guys get their furniture from some local guys there making furniture for them decks and bring it to the office, and they go buy brand new furniture from that place. Give my money. What happening? Yeah,
But Woody,
And
before Julius come in, nobody, in fact, they shouldn't be giving lawmakers money to furnish their office. They should
it's
have a
wrong.
maintenance
It's
department
wrong.
to put to do that. I mean,
It's
I never
wrong. But
seen
that's
that
why,
anyway.
buddy, that's why that's why they denying.
Mhm.
I mean, Lofa was on the show yet. He called Prince on Friday. Prince denying, telling that untrue. You know what you talking about? Because they were doing it in secret. They were trying to play. I mean, it's all about carry on their motives, okay? And you can expose them. So now they're trying to back up from it. But it's sad. And again, I'll say it again. Minister Griswold is on record. He and his team as Minister of State. And from what I can tell you, the trend they are going with, if they continue, Boga will be compelled, forced to remove Griswold from that position. Griswold will not last as Minister of State for long. That the same man who came by and he wrote the LTA and they said that it should not. He put a hold on the financial record and stuff into action. Who gives the authority to do that? People are telling people you don't have the authority to stop them from carrying a financial transaction, but he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he called the lady outgoing commissioner. Why the case is look, he having too much power, and we know what people that have too
It's
much
too
power in
much.
like bro, what has been the history of them. But Lofa and Kabu, you guys can chime in.
Great, great to be on here. Good evening, guys, and of course to our listening audience. Nice to be back here. Happy Monday, the start of the workday. For us, of course, a lot of other people around the world. Um, everything you guys are speaking to, it kind of remind me of the conversation I just had. I had with my dad. Right, he's not a big he's not big into politics. This is one person I rarely hear discuss politics. For the very first time, he followed the closing argument last week, and for the first time, my dad reached out to me and thought to engage me politically. He first of all complimented the show, and then said, you know, he said, uh, "We purchased a new vehicle, but then give the vehicle to the same old driver to drive." Okay. And I I think I kind of shared that with Kalibo. We kind of laughed about it, because for someone who is not into politics to just sense out where we are today, it speaks volume. And I think his statement is logical for him to just see it right out of the back. We said these things before these guys were elected. Okay, we knew it would have been the same '06 and '07. It wouldn't have been any different. The driver here today is simply the same guy who had the vehicle before, the same guy who, you know, drank and drove around in the vehicle and crashed it. It's the same guy you took and gave the new vehicle to and say, you know what? Since we bought a new one, let's give it to you. This is the same guy who failed to carry on maintenance, monthly maintenance. These guys are not ready. Tomalin, you and Peabody both said it all right. These guys simply they came out here to rescue themselves. Is I mean, their mission is to rescue themselves from whatever life situation they found themselves in. And that's why, sometimes when I listen to the likes of, matter of fact, I'm in the District 8 chat room, and I was listening and reading through the back and forth with Prince Stowe and Akaris Gray. And there are a few things that Akaris Gray was holding him accountable for. Like I said, you guys just made it seem as though this is my opportunity to come to government and enrich myself, because you're doing exactly the same thing you were crying about when Akaris Gray were doing it. You're accepting bribes and you lying publicly about that. This is no different. You guys spoke about Darius DeLong and other people being involved in, this whole thing about changing appointments that are being made. They are controlling the whole aspect of appointments. Again, I hate to sound as redundant as I sound when it comes to these things, but I simply wish that this message would just go across to every Liberian, whether in the United States or back home, that these individuals you refer to as politicians, they are not politicians. They are politicians. Politicians are people with minds to change the lives of their people. Politicians are people who understands and have agenda, looking to achieve something in the interest of their constituents, not people who are simply looking to enrich themselves at the expense of the suffering masses. Let me stop here since this is just my intro, but I am not surprised that the likes of Darius DeLong, Young Kanga, and other people, and that's part of the reason why today Darius DeLong is thinking about going to Grand Bassa County, but we will run behind them everywhere they go. Darius DeLong goes to Grand Bassa County, we will run behind them and we will educate our people. Darius DeLong should start to save for himself. Matter of fact, if I want him, send some of your money to your son over here in the States, and after that, retire and come out here and live, because we will follow you everywhere. Every step of the way, we will follow you. Thank you.
Okay, before Kelabo, let me just say, President, as you are aware, the legislature is the House. They are presently on their first recess. But today, President Boyka wrote the speaker calling them back to session, emergency session for 1 month, from April 1st to April 30th, to discuss matters of national concern. As he says, the budget is there, and the president got to discuss the budget. So the lawmaker will be coming back to the Capitol on the 1st of April for a special session under Article 32B. The president can request the legislature back into session to matter of national importance. So they are coming back. He just wrote them today, the speaker. So just be aware. Well, Kelabo, come in. Welcome, Grace. Welcome, Keff.
Oh, who door talking? Are you hearing me?
You're loud and clear.
Yeah, go ahead. You're loud and clear.
Oh, okay. All right, good. So, happen to be back again. Oh, Grace, we missed you the last show. I think on Friday, right?
Yeah, but I missed you the other time. Or when I said, I wonder you retired from the talk show. I was praying. I said, I hope he did not retire, because he said he was getting tired.
Oh, no. So I started getting good news that the Senate will actually pass a war and economic crimes code bill. So that's what I'm kind of energized to be back. But Tomalin here, this in my intro, this is what I was saying. I don't hold any apology for holding this view. For the past 18 years, Liberia has been struggling to find her bearing, to fight against corruption, to accelerate development, improve our healthcare and education. Basically, social services, we're struggling to do this, to get this thing right. When most of the countries around us in West Africa, they are accelerating. If you look at different indicators online, Liberia lags way behind. Okay, even Sierra Leone, on key indicators, Liberia lags behind Sierra Leone. The reason is we have two political parties that have steered the leadership of this country for more than 18 years. Since 2006, the only two parties that have done that are the Corruption Party, CDC, and Unity Party. Those two parties are the Corruption Party. They have put us where we are. The thing you're talking about, Grace Bay may lose his job. I know in the palace, sometimes the king will let go some of the lieutenants, use them as victim for a crown that the king may be aware of. But on top of my head, there is no way under the sun that Grace Bay will use the Ministry of State budget and authorize it without his boss knowing. It doesn't work like that in government. No. There was a meeting held. You remember before the inauguration, there was that thing about 25,000, then it came to 5,000. The representative from Grand Crew who flip-flop held two different press conferences. You guys remember that? These were the promises that were being made. And these promises have just been actualized. Someone somewhere in her office saying, I like to keep my words. We say we'll give them $4,000 or $5,000, but let's just make it $4,500 because we don't have too much. We didn't win the election, so let the $500 go. This is a scenario I got in my head. Yes, it's possible Grace Bay could lose his job, but it will not be because Grace Bay was acting in isolation of the executive marshal. No, because that's how it works. When there is public sentiment against certain action, sometimes to relieve the pressure from the executive marshal, you let go some of your lieutenant and say, yeah, be there. We saw with L.M. Johnson Salih when the fire got the executive marshal in 2000, I think 2006 or 2007, I believe 2006. John Kufuor was visiting Liberia then. What did she do? She let go the chief of, I think, Dougley at the time. Then later she brought Dougley back in the government. Okay? So it works like that. Dougley didn't cause a fire. He not fireman, he not electrician. But sometimes in the executive marshal, in the palace, you just got to do something for the public to believe that, oh, the head has acted, has taken action. Because in our country, our culture is that our leader is always right. Only the people around the leaders are bad. And we do the same thing. We give leaders a pass. We say was a good president. Only 12 and the other people around him were bad. It's a Liberian culture. And this culture permeates far and below. It goes as high as among the elitist, the educator, and as low as the semi and functional illiterate. Leaders don't go wrong in our culture, but leaders are human beings. They do make wrong decisions. They do have error of judgment. We have to deal with it. This, in my mind, this is an act of the executive marshal, not a single actor within the executive marshal.
Well, again, okay, I just saw the appointment list. I think they finally appointed all the superintendents, including
There's a new
my
list,
own
yeah.
sister. My own sister, Mepe Gono, Superintendent Lima County. Congratulations, Mepe. I wish you the best. I wish you the best, and I believe that you will do your best.
Yeah,
and he appointed all the superintendents and the various mayors of the various counties and district commissioners and so forth. But that's good.
But,
so the president
this other president, we say some opposition. I mean, at least I didn't say that. Some opposition said you're going to be sleeping president. But this other president, he appointed even places he's not supposed to appoint. He appointed Inspector General of Ministries and Agency. Because that one is not in the Constitution. I hear he appointed Inspector General at the Ministry of Labor. At least I worked there before. I know the Inspector General is a professional job. There is a qualification description for it. It is a Minister of Labor prerogative to appoint the Inspector General. It's there in the act creating the Ministry of Labor. But I hear the president appointing.
The president just appointed his superintendents for his 15 counties, and congratulations to all those appointed, especially my own dear sister Mepe Kogono, to vote reach Nima County, superintendent of Nima County. I wish her all the best, and I pray that she will justify the confidence and trust reposing her by President Boyka and all of those who were appointed. But hats off to all those appointed, a long list of appointments from all the various counties, including the commissioners and everything.
Wow.
But congratulations to them. And Mimi, at least one can name was the GB there. Thank you. But Grace, welcome, man. Keff, Keff, I'll say you should talk before him. So Keff, I'm sure Keff wants you to speak before you speak. So go ahead, Grace.
Yeah, Kev, how are you? And hello, everybody on the platform. And thank you for always giving me that grace to speak before you. I really appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. And I see Tomalin, oh, congratulations. So, Tomalin always let to be in good rapport, all the politicians, and he to play. I let her Tomalin to play. He won't be in problem with nobody. For me, I'm not congratulating anybody when it comes to Joseph Waka call me.
Tomalin is a registered lobbyist.
I'm a nationalist at all. I give you a chance to bring your own neck.
Tomalin is a registered lobbyist in DC and registered lobbyist.
So by the time you bring your neck hand, but right now you give everybody a chance to perform. you know.
Tomalin, give everybody the chance, as he said.
But
But
I know tonight you'll get. I mean, great people. I know you'll get mad because I've been investigating the whole Noka Sonny, and I would you can get mad tonight, but I got it.
You mean the
section
600K?
Yes, I got the whole gist of it, and but we'll talk about
need
it
a
on. But
document,
Grace,
in less than 30 days, 600K go via.
but
that's not true.
That's what the government is about.
It's a new government, so they got to do the budget.
This is the reason why this government wanted to come in power. You never knew that, Mr. Gongo. You see what you think why the people fought that day? People that met and were on all the station there, and we just want to call the people together. And they're not giving her the position now she was looking for. She got it. Let's see what they were doing 6 years. That's why we are here. We want to find out what they would do, because all of them who were there propagating this man agenda, the so-called agenda that he did not have, all of them wanted jobs, and we know it. So thank God they are pointing them into places so we'll see what they can deliver for Liberia. But I was very shocked.
Can I just ask a quick question though? Did I hear she's a lawyer?
From where place?
Does she practice law in the States, or that's only in Liberia?
No,
she's not a lawyer. Okay.
No.
Yeah, the way the people credential and funny this time, people that go to 6 months and get bachelor degrees. Well, I think we're saying now. So, but anyway, I was one of my friend texted me and was telling me about the position, the tenure position for the superintendent for MCSS. So they just removed the person who was in that tenure position. Joseph Baga removed it and put somebody else there. Remember, Adolphus Jacobs was there, and then he served a term, and he was removed after his term was over. CDC government removed him, and they put somebody there after his term. The person that was put there, I don't know their name, but they were put there.
Professor Zawolo.
So they removed Zawolo now.
You remove him?
Yes, that's what I heard from a reliable source. He was removed, and another person now is put in that position. So the president is still messing up with a tenure position, which is not good for the country. And if y'all want to remove tenure from the whole government, then you'll remove it one for all. Then the whole country work at the will and pleasure of the president. Because tenure position is not a appointed position for will and pleasure of the president. The tenure position is to secure certain things that the people will be able to speak up when it's time, because the president cannot remove them. So, it's sad. I heard it. I was just like, okay, the man is just still wish hunting the people in the country. And with all these appointments, he's still appointing people. I think his sister days now, the government, right? He's still appointing people. You would think that they were already prepared, so all the people are going to be in place. But because he's removing a lot of people from in places that were not supposed to be removed, so that's why they're still appointing people from the different people. They promise from party loyalty to those who pay money for the position and all of that. So they're still appointing people. Our government right now, they are moving behind schedule. And that's just the truth. We're just waiting to see how everything play out. But people in Liberia are suffering. Even you post your picture nowadays, somebody will come, oh, ma, help me, oh, let me hear, oh, Maya, please help me, oh, they're begging. Just the other time we were on the platform, we had to raise money for one sick man that could just get help from the hospital in Liberia if everything were in place. And we had to help him. So we will not be ready just helping people in Liberia. The people choose what they want and they got what they want. So therefore, they will have to live with it. But my friend called me from Liberia. She was telling me these things, and she was telling me how scratch card now is $2. You have to have $2 American to be able to put scratch card on your cell phone. It is no more $1. So since the king, everything is just going on. So people can't really afford to put scratch card on the cell phone anymore. You got $2 and that's more money to get in Liberia. It can feed you at least for 2 days. And I wanted to say that I am still disappointed. I do not expect anything for the first 100 days that will be positive or progressive for the country. I think this first 100 days in this government is going to fail. And we will still say that we are hoping for Liberia and Liberians that live in Liberia, but it's not looking good. The people in Liberia say everything is scatter. Everybody look confused. Everybody don't know what they're doing. They're still fighting for job position. So there where we are. Thank you very much. That's my introduction.
Kefiko.
Oh, well,
on Grace?
I would say, hi to everybody. I'm sitting here, listening to folks some sound surprised uh, about what going on in the UP government. Tells me that all the time we were talking about the UP government, so uh, a lot of folks did not know what happened in the past 12 years of UP government. Uh, who put this up?
I don't know.
Yeah, Lofa, if you put it up, can you please take it down?
No, it's the studio did that. What is
Okay,
that, by the way?
okay. So I see why sometimes when we talk, we scream, we yell, because in our mind, we thought that a lot of folks understand or actually know the UP government. This thing that they're doing, this corruption thing, is business as usual for Unity Party. Let me remind folks, brown envelopes started under the UP government because if you guys can remember, maybe Lofa may not remember, maybe at that time, and he was much younger. Um, the lawmakers' job were not attractive. Way back, they were not attractive. UP made lawmakers' job become attractive. Who wanted to be lawmaker? Nobody. So when we spoke on that issue, I'm not talking about election time, 2018, 19, 20, 21. Everybody say, okay, they pay you $20,000, so that reason why you're talking plenty. They make sure they convince the people mind and educated people who live in America, yeah, work in America, believe that crap. Yeah, they believe I was getting to $240,000 a year. I don't know where that money coming from, but coming to me, America, yeah. So I think by now that money laundry will be in serious problem. They're sending money. Grace, when you see educated people sometimes think stupidly in this country because they use a biasness to judge, and they were attacking Joe Weah government, bringing back the same. I used to use a language in another platform. A lot of people say, "Don't use that language." Let me remind people. I said, the rapist is telling the rape victim, "I'm for you." I use that language. People say it was harsh, but now see what they're doing. They told the people, "Are for you." Remember, uh, Kelabo Grace, how you guys remember? What position Grace was serving under Ma Ellen? What position? Kelabo, what position Grace was serving
He was
under UP?
ambassador. He was ambassador. He was a son of Koro or St. Jean, but he was in Europe. In Brussels, he was ambassador.
Did Grace work at the mansion too under Ellen?
This Grace they are many. I don't know.
Tomalin George.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
Sylvester Grispe, what job he had and under Ma Ellen? Did he work at the
I think,
mansion too?
yeah, Minister of State. I
The
think
same position. That's where I'm
so-
going. The same position. So he understand how to get lawmakers to do his business. That old job. He know it. But when we spoke to people in the past, they say, "Oh God, you're not good. You this, you that." And now when I see people shouting, then I don't blame them. I understand that they actually did not know the UP government. Because if they know the UP government, especially people who were in another party beside UP, will go after the Unity Party at the early stage. Number one, they will not even in collaboration with the Unity Party. When some of us brought that up, we had they insulted us. But all those folks who joined in the CPP helped to bring this thing, because they made them to believe that the other guy, Joe Weah, is the demon. The Unity Party are the savior. And some of us said to them, if you think we're doing bad, fine. But you got your guy. I personally spoke face to face with Mr. Cummings, and I told him, joining the CPP, you're wrong. And I say on air, you're wrong. Before the CPP went against him, I spoke on it, and I told him, get out. So what they did is, folks brought JMB back to life, and look what happened now. So you want, and I rest on this. So you want to tell me that a career politician or smart people, quote unquote, the quote unquote the book people, don't know that conniving with JMB or in collaboration with JMB, that JMB boosting? We spoke to them behind the door, we spoke to them, and look what happened. It's trouble in that country. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So when I see people yelling, I say, wait now. You know, and Unity Party, that's business as usual. You think all that thing they're talking about, your bribe, all that, they tell you they care, they will do the worst. Who told you they care? They're laughing at Liberian people. They don't care. 4,500 for a lawmaker, that weekend money, that for the weekend, the real one coming. And we know that. The big stuff coming. That one, that weekend, they say, let me dash you. Go and then fix your room. Go and fix your thing. It's different from the 5,000 again. Let me just dash you a little bit. That weekend money. That for this past weekend, they just share quick. The big one coming. The Unity Party will skin dry Liberia. You'll never be stupid again in your whole life. I rest.
Yeah. So if I can make a quick comment, Grace, can I make a quick
comment?
Yeah, Grace says something, and she mentioned my name when she was talking about change. That people didn't know that this government was coming to do this. But Grace, I want to respond to this. Like I said in my opening statement, change of government in Liberia has never been about fundamental change. It has just been about getting new group of thieves, new group of hyenas to mar our tax money. That's all. So this other group that come in, those of all who have observed Liberian political process for decades, we knew it was not about change. It was just about the same thing. Just like Doe and his group taking power from the TWP and doing the same thing the TWP guys are doing, maybe even to a different degrees. And just like the post-Doe era, we are marking this corruption, that we've actually exacerbated everything. We amplify everything that was wrong with the Doe administration in post-Doe era. It's the same thing here. This change in government is always not about changing the lives, changing the policy, changing the direction of the country. It has always
Well,
been about changing their lives.
But
Peabody,
more the people
look,
still
until
voting people in. Yeah, go ahead, Tomalin. I can't. I
yeah,
I
as I always
can't.
tell people, like I always
Grace,
tell people, Grace, I
Tony,
said that
so I don't want to manipulate as that.
until Liberia,
Uh-huh.
until
Go ahead.
until we can look. Say for example, right? Since the war ended, we've had how many elections? We've had 2005, 11, 17, and 23. And since the war ended, we have had two parties dominating the political landscape. And now,
And nothing has
as we've been talking behind the scene, 2029 is our last stand. If Liberians would go again, elect the same two parties against, up to them, because two parties they have tried, they have not done anything much to transform the life of the country of the Liberian people or the country. So it's up to them. So it requires a coalition of parties to come together to really do something 2029, or else I can tell you our last stand will be done by the time the next election comes in 2035. Some all will be retired now. Will be now. So now the generation all done. But Peabody,
and
you
Tony,
want to win?
before Tomlin, before people come in, there are two things I've said, and I keep repeating it. One, I said in 2023 election, if we didn't change CDC and the Unity Party or trading, exchange insurance, executive action, we're actually buying our ticket to land in Haiti. And that's exactly what Liberia is doing. Corruption is what got Haiti where it is today. We know there were other external influences, historical and what have you, but corruption was the main thing. Liberia is actually buying her ticket slowly to become like Haiti. And the second thing I'll say is, Grace, the reason why the voters keep voting is the politicians have invested in one thing. They invested in poor quality education, in literacy. When you invest, you reap your investment. So every election, the guys reap their investment. That's all. They know the mind of our people. They know what they want. So I just need to get more t-shirts. I need to, for the current generation of young people, they love motorbike. That's a pen generation. So we're going to put more motorbike out there, and we'll get them to troop our supporters to. And the election, look, I listen to Musa Ability. Election in Liberia consistently is a fraudulent process. I mean, we can discuss this further.
Peabody. But Peabody, if you come Peabody, my little daughter, she haven't been like bro before she was born yet. I remember during the election, she said, Daddy, your friend didn't win. I said, what do you mean by that? He said, so I tried to give some defense. She said, you gotta say he didn't do anything for the people. I said, who telling you something how you following like brand politics? Who telling you this thing? But somebody who are against we are telling you negative things. But that's what we're saying. The children, even the kids from here now, they're following our politics now. They're trying to follow our politics in our country. Our kids who were born here now trying to follow it, because they say, how come my daddy go like bro for 2 months is there, and then say, oh boy, his friend running, so that what you going there for is also put your friend. Say, but then I put a picture and I say, oh okay, wait and see. But body man, we're in.
Tomalin, nothing will come out of Liberia, unfortunately. Nothing. As I said earlier, I'm currently in Accra, and places that I was 20, 25 years ago is no more. It had become either a real estate, a major business area, and all of that. Development everywhere. You can literally sit down to your home in Accra and do everything you want. Anything you want to do, you can sit to your home and do it.
Okay.
Liberia is just a population of 5 million. We got great resources. How long? Some are now in our 50s. You think we're going to see any development in our country again? No way. No, as Sam Jackson said, Liberia is a country of click. When you get in, bring your part of click, they support you, you're in jail for the time, the other men come back and bring his click and they help him. But this government did no change. You're appointing somebody like Doctor, I don't know what, I forgot his name, but he said you appoint a rogue to be the head of asset recovery. How would the rogue even Lester Tenney? Lester Tenney said it. He appointed. You say you won't fight corruption, then you're appointing rogue to fight corruption. And I just found out that even this guy they appointed was sanctioned before. He was sanctioned before. All right. Nothing is going to change in that country. That's why you have what we have in Liberia. The mind, like Mr. Gongo said, the mindset, they are not investing in education. Okay. They are investing in illiteracy. That's what they are investing in. They are not helping our people to go to school. They're not helping our people to change their mind. We get into Liberia. We say we want to run. We carry bag of rice, food, and water, and give them alcohol to drink, and print 100 T-shirts, and they all put this T-shirt to jump behind you and parading the Peter Maria, beating the drum and singing song and enjoying it. And that's all happening. They are dignifying rogues. And when they walk in, they call in, oh, sir, chief, you behind that, oh, sir, oh, yeah, all those kind of nonsense. And they're sitting there, they are the victim of it, but they are not, they don't care. I don't think Liberia knows how to vote for anything. They only know how to vote when it comes to instant gratification. When you give it to them, they get it. Then they say, oh, yeah, this man a good man. This man came and did this. This man came and did that. You know, let me tell you a secret. I went somewhere one time in one village. I was doing some work, build a school, and about 100 guys came to me with this big letter, said they're reading a petition and giving it. I said, look, man, let's just take the 200 and go buy a cane juice or something to drink. Don't bring that mess to me. I got zero intention of even coming here, so you gotta make food out of me and eat my money in the end. You don't know me, so I don't want that. I got no intention of doing it because that's how they are, and that's how we see our country today. How long will it take for our country to change? You think we're going to see any kind of development now in Liberia? That's in Liberia, all right, but we're ready for it. It's not going to happen. We got a UP clique. They're there now. It's that time. They will enjoy. And then the next time somebody else will come again and we'll see the same asset recovery or fighting corruption or we're doing this. See what's going on right now in the house. Busa was embarrassed that the business and logistics is bad. It's very bad what you guys are doing. It's wrong. And that's true. I mean, another lawmaker say you lied. The other man said that true. The other man said I lied. The other man said that true. So what's really going on? Is that what the Liberian people elected you for? To sit there and just do this kind of thing? I think, unfortunately, we all knew that President Blacker was not the person, to really bring the change that we wanted. I for one, I did not support President Blacker. I believe that he was much younger. Maybe he will make some strong decision. But look at what happened today. He appointed somebody, and then they had to withdraw the name because they don't know how the person named on that list and stuff like that. I mean, all those kind of a whole government. Those things should not be happening in the government. It's all about. We're seeing all our friends there from here. They're going back on there. They're big people. They calling them sir and boss and chief. They're all there. Everybody going to fill their pocket. And then when they over, it didn't disgrace them. Some of them get some money. They want to disgrace. They'll kind of running back. The $600,000 that got missing and all the things. So, I mean, unfortunately, our generation would not see the real development of Liberia. I'm sorry to say that.
Well, let me say this before Lofa come in. Look, I can tell you this, guys. We're not waiting for 2028 or 29 before we start. We already started. Maybe you guys don't know. And this time around, we'll be involved. We call it the last stand. Yeah, but you guys, the last stand. Discussion has started already. We'll not sit down for 2029 and allow the election to go to. Look, would be that this guy from the Republican Party, Mitch McConnell, he said, it's not about election, it's about quality candidates, what he talked about. So we'll not sit down and allow what happened the last couple of years to happen. So, but as soon as the time reaches, we'll let you guys know what's happening. People are already preparing for 2029.
Mr. Moderator, what happened? I'm sorry,
guys,
Mr. Moderator. I'm sorry, Mr.
yeah,
Moderator. What happened again with this appointment? Appointed one position, two different person again.
yeah, man. I think
Look at and
the trend I've been happening about.
49 and 62, the same position, two different person.
Man, they got to get it act together.
I thought they are the smart and book people.
They get it act together. But as I was saying,
They keep doing
2029,
something.
Read, they put the book aside.
everybody on this platform, everybody on the platform,
One
nobody should
position, two different.
sit down and wait for 2028, 26 that you start. If you're serious about making Liberia change, get involved now. Start getting involved. Don't wait till 2029 or 2028. It will be too late. Okay, you guys got to get ready, honestly. But Lofa, charming. In the meantime, how to call it? Senegal elected for the 4-year-old boy as president, who was in jail for 10 days. He was in jail for 10 days before election. He was in jail. He got elected on his birthday. Now he's taking the room of power. So let's see what will happen in Senegal. But Robert, welcome. Lofa, charming.
So, Tomalin, let me start off first of all with the last election. I know you mentioned Grisby, and as I retrospect, I take into consideration a few things, right? One of those things is his close proximity to Mr. Cummings. And I look at the likes of Ava. They are now all trying to put their heads above the water for consideration, recognition. And I see Grisby, who was in the corner of Mr. Cummings at one point, is the guy now who's calling the shot, which is, of course, heavily involved with corruption. I said to myself, well, thank God Mr. Cummings did not win the election. I say that openly, just thinking about the people, some of the prominent member who would, like you and I know there is no way on earth Mr. Cummings would have won an election and don't consider Grisby. I challenge anybody to doubt that. Okay? But these are the people who were actually promising change. An individual will probably the strongest will to move Liberia forward is the only person, the one who can look at his dad in the face and say, if you are there caught stealing, I will prosecute you and it will be done publicly. That's the only person who can move Liberia forward going on. Not an individual who simply want to be a part of a clique. You know, we said these things all along during the elections. We said the reason why a lot of Liberians would rather be friends with people in government is because they want to be a part of the corrupt circle. They all want to have an opportunity to steal. They all want to have an opportunity to be where they can have that close proximity and don't be seen from the broader scope. Instead, they want to have opportunity to take it from the back. They are not looking at the opportunity to move Liberia forward, considering where our neighbors are. If you are to think about the level of embarrassment, the disgrace, we cannot be considering ourselves educated people when we cannot compete with those around us. Look at Guinea, Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, Ghana. You just mentioned Senegal. These people are not better than us. They are not more educated than us. It's patriotism. They are concerned about moving their country forward. Okay? They are not simply about their pockets, their legacy. They are looking at the legacy they leave by. My dad always talked to him. Every time he and I have a conversation, he emphasized legacy. What is my legacy? What am I leaving behind that I will be remembered for? What are these politicians that we are looking for thinking at? What are they even thinking of? They're not thinking that, first and foremost, they did not present to you an agenda. A lot of the people who ran, all of our decisions were based on sentiment. Some of the people we spoke to during the elections, you know what their arguments were? But nobody knows this man. The people's minds are made up. But you know what? You're not thinking about what this man can offer you. Who makes anybody popular? It is the people who makes you popular. Okay? But we refuse to educate our people. Some of us who claim to be educated, we are part of the problem in Liberia. Matter of fact, we are the biggest part of the problem in Liberia because we are heavily involved with corruption to the extent that we are not sincere to look at ourselves and say, what you Tomalin is telling me today, Lofa, let us work harder to make sure that those who have been in government would not be held accountable. Tomalin, I challenge you tonight to criticize Jeremiah Cohn for his involvement in corruption while he was at the Senate. I challenge you tonight heavily. Call him out. I challenge you to do that. He's the vice president. Jeremiah Cohn have been involved in almost every corrupt practice or practices in our country. But that is something that you don't feel comfortable doing. You know why? Because he's your friend. How can we move Liberia forward when Keff Hassan, who knew that the government at the time, CDC not governing correctly. And he could not criticize the government yesterday because he was friends with President George Weah. When my brother Ben Sanvee, Ben comes on here, he will protect and defend Madam Joy Howard Taylor to the fullest. Everything that is done, everybody got some kind of friend in government, so we protect them. We forget the innocent people who are dying from starvation, from curable diseases. We don't look out for them.
Lofa, you need vacation.
I knew you were going to come with something like that.
Lofa, I applaud you tonight. I swear, Lofa.
So,
You know why I applaud Lofa Julius tonight? Lofa Julius is a part of the CPP. If Lofa Julius can sit on this platform tonight and tell us Grace P was part of Cummings' campaign and he was very in close proximity.
Point of correction, Grace. I was never a part of the CPP. I supported Cummings' ideology because I believe he would have been far better off. Cummings.
That's made you part of the CPP. That made you part of the CPP.
That'll make me a part of it. That'll make me a part of it because I also look. I pointed out 3 candidates that I felt like were far better off than the 2 that Liberians consider the popular candidates. I said Mr. Alexander Cummings. I also referenced Councillor Tewan Gonglu until he brought this sit on the mat. Then I said, okay. And then Clarence Moneyback, and then Mr. Moneyback. Clarence Moneyback. I said, but what I was looking at is if Liberian were to just consider either Mr. Alexander Cummings or Clarence Moneyback, I feel like we probably would have been out a far better place than where we are today. It may have been a little bit shaky in the process, but we would have gotten to where we needed to be at. You know what? Those of us who have the opportunity to sit in and hire people for positions to places, we are not simply looking for liabilities. When we sit in these interviews, we are looking to bring in people who are assets so that when we are no longer available, those people can take on the responsibility. They can take on the mantle of authority. Look at recently what happened here. I will stop on this note. Our track athletes, they won medals. Where are we recognizing these kids to encourage them so that others can see them and say, you know what? I want to run track too. Where are we doing that? How are we doing it? Why isn't the president inviting those young men and women to the mansion to appreciate them for what they did?
And even giving us
all the elite came from America. I don't think Liberia.
Okay.
Oh, I guess you don't like those of us who are in America then.
But Tomalin, let me. I just wanted to say something for Lofa, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, Grace.
So and that's the reason why, regardless of whatsoever, I have a level of respect for certain people on this Blue app. And one of them, Lofa Julius, to tell you the truth, he sits and he would tell you, although I don't agree with everything he says, but he said the fact. Is Tomalin George willing to condemn corruption when it comes to Jeremiah Kun? No. Ben Sanvee will never say anything concerning Joy Howard Taylor. Whether she spoke for women, she didn't speak for women. Ben will argue to the T that Joy Howard Taylor was the best vice president ever. So, and that's if we cannot come to the stage where Lofa is saying that we should come to, Liberia will never be a better place. But before I take my time to talk, right?
I'll come to you, but I wanted
Okay.
to do.
So let me just continue. So Tomalin, you were saying something about your daughter. So you said, I love your kids. They're so beautiful girls, very
Thank you.
beautiful and very smart. The other
Thank
one,
you.
I saw her she was doing the airplane and all that kind of stuff. I'm really proud of them. Um, but I wanted to say concerning our kids, right? I live in a, if I say this, I'm not saying that because sometimes you say, like, people say, oh, she's saying, I live in a real white neighborhood. Seriously, in York, Pennsylvania. My children, my son, he's in college. When we go to Jersey, he don't hide because he don't see black people like that. He used to hide when he said, but there are too many black people here because he grew up in this area. My son religiously follow George Weah. All his friends are white. They all knew about George Weah. They come to my house, I first food they eat. They say, oh, your mom from Liberia, we know about George Weah. They were impressed. He was their idol. When they follow Liberian politics, and I want to tell you where your daughter's coming from, nobody told her anything negative about George Weah. She found out for herself. My son, even when we were running for president, I said I would never vote for Weah. My son told me, say he was behind Weah to be president of Liberia. He think Weah would do better, knowing the status and everything, and you know how he excelled in football and everything. But later on, when Weah became president, when they was checking, my little white godson, they cried. They were so depressed, especially when all those killings were going on, because they expected way more from Weah, and they felt that Weah could perform way better. It's just that he never had the right people in his corner. But they were so disappointed that he could not even have he did not have the weight to say, you know what? I play soccer. I'm not too up there when it comes to education. I don't know I don't have the credential. I don't have the experience to be president. I never work in government. But people are around here that can help me and push me up. And I have he had this swag to do what he was supposed to do. Once he had the right people around him. And the children got so disappointed when they saw the government going in shambles, when others just started to die, and they got so disappointed. And my son, after 4 years into Weah presidency, he always had hope. He said, Mommy, I'm very disappointed. I do not want you to invest in this country anymore. These people, they are not willing to do the right thing. George Weah has let us down. So this is where most of our children who were born here coming from. You know, the government, the past government, they felt I could do way better, but then I will confess to you, after everything was said and done and the election scheme, the way Brent started going, I told him my mind for a minute. If I had put the auditors there aside and all the rapes that took part in the country that they never said nothing, and George Weah was silent, the general minister was silent. If I put away all that thing aside and say, you know what, I was still going to say George Weah was supposed to be there. If it was left with George Weah and Joseph Boakai. Because I already knew that the people that were behind Joseph Boakai, it was all about them and their pockets. They were not going to do anything better. So I was weighing the two things and I said, oh, because the killing was too much in this government and nothing was done. Investigation was not even, they never did it right. The public were not satisfied. But at the same time, I'm thinking, if we try to remove George, why are we putting Joseph Boakai? Then I would rather stand with George Weah at this point. But I just couldn't get past all the auditors' death and all the kind of things then. But Liberia got it wrong again because they want to make Liberia a two-party system that will not work for the country. The country needs a 360-degree spin. Well, I mean, taking somebody very different and turning the country around in a whole different direction for transformation. We are government, CDC party, UP party cannot do it for all at this point. We talk about the people in Liberia, all the people, they made a mistake. The people here in America, these lackadaisical people that live in this country, they will sit on platform and sway the minds of the people because they know the people are not educated in Liberia. They don't understand the real body politics of Liberia. So anywhere they sway them, they will go there. And that's what they did. They sat on their platform. That's why I don't congratulate them. I'm sorry. When they get in position, oh yeah, I don't congratulate them because all of them did it because of position to go and steal. So that's why we never congratulate any of them. I have no respect for them because they know in their heart and their minds that this man was old and fragile. He will not have the willpower to really serve and do what he's supposed to do for our country. Now his people around him and his son, they're calling the shots for the country. And this is not why we vote president. We vote president for the president to call the shots, not the people around him to call the shots. And that's the reason why Grace Bay have all this power in him. He can just do anything and nothing will come from out of it. And this is why we are talking. Thank you very much.
Okay, before I bring Keff, let me just say this quickly. Okay, you bring me to my next. I'll just introduce this one quickly. You see, people just when you making accusation on people, you gotta have the facts. There, for example, the issue about this no car story today. And one thing, I'm not a journalist, but what I usually do when I hear a story, I like to get the other side of the story. So I placed a call to Jacob Akoli. I said, Jake, what's the story I'm hearing about this no car issue? Jake told me, said, Tomalin, if anybody can bring any evidence to show that the money they're talking about that I took, I will you call me right on the way on your show. I'll appear on your show in person. I will come right away on the show. So tonight, I'm throwing a challenge of those who are accusing him. He's saying that he's prepared to come forward if you bring any evidence that he took $600,000 and used it in 2 months. He challenging. He said, Julius, everybody who talking about this story, y'all bring the evidence, bring the bank. He said, all the banks, go to the banks, let the bank bring any voucher to show that his money in question, he took this money and he embezzled it. He shouldn't challenge all that. He said, as soon as they can appear, or they can, when they call on closing argument tonight, they want to show face, I should immediately call him. He will appear on closing argument right away. So that's the challenge out there. Because you see what happened? You friends with people will agree, but it's somebody just come and say, they accuse you. Peabody did this thing. So I should just, with all no evidence, I should just believe it. You talk about Jeremiah Kuhn, Julius, let me tell you something. I was in Liberia, I want to register to vote. And I should have left Liberia on the 26th of April. But Bwaga had met with Yombly and Kuhn in Bombing. He told them, say, well, I'll make my decision who I will carry as vice president by the 28th. So I was at Yombly house that day when Kuhn called me, he said, look, I went Ganta. He said, I said, oh, I want to go Ganta. We went Ganta for 3 days. While we're there, I got to know that he was already the VP candidate because Bwaga told him, say, I'm taking you. If I take Yombly, he said, Musa will sue them and they will sue them and they will be distracted. So I'll carry you as my VP. So imagine now, while we're in Liberia, during the second round, Kuhn texted me and said, oh, man, I see you where we are there. I said, yeah. So I don't want you to know that it's not for friendship. But if you said a man get corruption, but you saying it because you hear from people saying it though. But if you can bring a document and a justification to say, well, that issue, that evidence that people involve corruption. And if I do not criticize him, then you made a comment. But not because somebody.
Family, let me put them out. Let me give you the articles.
I'm coming.
Okay.
Not because somebody says something, so you just So and that's the problem we're facing in our country. That right now, people are running with the story say Jake took 600,000, carrying all around. Jake took the money, but I'm not seeing no evidence there though. No evidence here. So Jake is saying that if they produce the evidence on him tonight, he said, Tomalin, I beg you, throw the challenger for me. If anybody who can produce the evidence that I took 600,000 from local account in the last 2 months, I will appear on closing argument immediately to answer the question. So tell me now, the people throwing this thing out, the evidence out there, so I'm wrong and say, yeah, that's true, I believe it, because why? Because he's a target. It could be you tomorrow. I can't be you tomorrow.
Okay.
You'll be in a position tomorrow and somebody say, accusing you. Well, all no evidence, nothing, but they're accusing you and saying this thing. Okay, but they're just saying this thing. And so I should just give it credence just because I won't criticize you. No, we should stop that.
No.
The evidence. And for me, I'm criticize anybody. My friend Jones, I criticized him before. I mean, I do on spoon. Okay. But you gotta do it with facts and things. Don't just come up because you're the person that easy target, you go after them. So I repeat, there's nobody I cannot criticize. You do wrong, I'll criticize you. I'll call you out. Yeah, go ahead.
So Tomalin, that's a great point. I think the fact that you emphasize on your willingness to speak based on facts. Okay, yes. Let's go back to the time Jeremiah Kuhn was in the Senate, serving as a representative. Okay, there were several allegations, several
allegation.
Okay,
Allegation,
and I'll bring you to this point. What I'm saying here is why he served as a representative. Matter of fact, one of the most recent and just I say just obvious ones is the hospital that he built, the hospital that he actually that is in Nema County, that he claimed he gave to the people of Liberia. Where are the documentations to prove that we own that facility or that institution? It's not by mere talk. You can come tell me, say, oh, I built the institution and then the government decided they wanted to use it. Give us documentation. The documents speak of facts. Don't just tell me, oh, I hand it over to the government. Who actually receives the proceeds from that institution? There's a young man today who Jeremiah Kun threatened. Okay, this young man and Mr. Kun is still fighting over the property that is over there. Isn't that part of corruption as well? These fights, if you want me to call the young man right now, I could call him to narrate his story. This young man claimed he was threatened, okay, by Jeremiah, Vice President Jeremiah Kun. And he was literally booted off his property because Jeremiah Kun at the time served as a representative. And now as a vice president, this young man is nowhere close to even challenging Jeremiah Kun. I could go on and on. He was also mentioned.
You got no evidence. Why you saying tonight you have no evidence of what you're saying? Yes,
there are two sides. There are two sides to every story. Don't listen to one person.
You got two allegations, no facts, no evidence. You just saying, young man. Come on, you get no evidence. All the people you call their name, but do the evidence. I just try to challenge that. Jacob Okoli is saying that you should, anybody who said that he took money from Doka, produce the evidence, bring the records, bring the financial record, call any banks, can trace it. He will come forward tonight. I got his number. I will call it tonight. He will appear to defend it. But I'm wrong with that story.
Let me say something. No, this is a sidebar. So let me just say something quick in passing here. You know, the thing about the Liberian legislature, it's a very tricky thing here. You know, since 2006, the guys who served in the legislature, whether it be the 52nd, the 53rd, the 54th, you go on. They've all flatly refused to be audited. Representative appear, senator appear on Spoon. The question of audit was asked. He said, "Oh, why you come to audit? My personal gas slip, my salary, my this. Why you come audit? And do this and do that." But audit, they are all part of audit. They do payroll audit, they do staff audit, you do credential audit, you do so many different audits. The thing is, the legislature, the elected officials, they all can run on fighting corruption, running a transparent government. But as soon as they get in the legislature, audit becomes a buku man war for them. They don't even want to use that. They have tried it with one auditor after the other. But Tomalin, the question is, anyone who is serving the Liberian legislature now or who has ever served from 2006 up to present stand accused of corruption. Because you know what? They've acquired wealth that their salary cannot really, I mean, I'm not going to go into part. You and myself talk off record, you know some stuff. There are some senators who got 24 trucks with golden for renting it. Some of the very people got mentioned in a butch, you know, in Nimba. I mean, their salary, even if they work for 30 years and they live on that salary, can never build such a house for them. Okay? But because we have not audited them, we don't know the source of their wealth. I mean, we can look at their lifestyle and say, hey, look at Thomas Fala University. Please tell me, can Thomas Fala's salary build in our university? Can Sir Joseph, I think Sir Joseph building a technical college or whatever, can his salary build in that building? Let's face a fact. We know these guys are living an opulent life in the midst of actual poverty. But the argument they have is, I've not been audited. It's just like a prostitute say, I've not been called with a man. That's exactly what we're doing like this.
All we're talking, Sonny, on women.
Yeah, just go off track.
Prostitute, but not
but
got
y'all
male
broke down the way.
prostitute,
Hello,
got
guys.
female prostitute. It doesn't apply to both sexes.
No, okay, yeah, from Kev and Robert and Larry, so they just come in. So Kev, you come in.
Yeah, I'm one of the folks who believe that because we all have been a victim of those kind of allegation. They just put things out and say you corrupt, you corrupt, you corrupt. I will not be one of the people who just throw something out without any evidence. Although the Jake incident, information reaching me that LSCC is on that case, so they will do that. They will investigate that. But what they did to us, some of us personally, the lies and stuff they did to us, and brought our government down. That's the same thing will follow the Unity Party because they use it. They use those lies. And a lot of people believe that, somebody will wake up and say, you take this money, you take this 16 billion, you put it in your pocket, and then you go. I don't know if you think that, Tomalin and I were sitting with the former president, and he said to us, if I get a $16 billion, I will go to the doctor and tell the doctor I'm sick. He said, I can't be president for somebody because and costing me every day. Tomalin was right there. We were laughing. That's exactly what he said. But folks believe that. The evil that men do live after them. And that's what happening with the Jake and other guys. They fed that. They push that. They lie. And that's why, Takunje's song is back on the #1 song in the country now. Because they actually lie.
Oh, Takunje's song back again?
Oh, yes. #1 song. They actually lied. I remember when the news came out with a check about $25,300 and some change that I was getting. I look at our check, and I was sitting with a former president in DC. We look at the check. He said it's not even my signature. They said, and I don't even have an account at Bank of America. But they put out Bank of America check, and guess what? People insulted me when my son was sick in the hospital. People went on Facebook in my inbox and say your son will die. The Unity Party people did that to some of us. They did that. And I see them fighting, they lie on me. You deserve that. Because they're a bunch of wicked people. They know they were lying. Bunch of evil people. Evil people. They knew they were lying. They knew they were lying on George Weah. They knew they were lying on me. They knew they were lying on folks. But people believe that. And now they're following them. So I would not be one of the person who say, okay, you steal money, you did without evidence. But we will continue to prove to the people, and we all will be vindicated from those lies. Because now, you see Jake now, you see how Jake calling you Tomalin, they lie on me. Twist that and put that 2 years ago and say, if that was Safua Gray, what Jake will be saying? Jake will call you and tell you Safua Gray that role. That's what they did to us. They swear us. They call names. They wish death upon our children for things that they know they lie. And that's what will follow them. Maybe I would say this. What the Bible say, Mr. Peabody, You say what? He that dig at the pit for someone should fall in it.
You're taking a shot at
Yeah,
everybody tonight.
Peabody, I'll help you with some Bible
Yeah,
class.
because that's it. They will fall in those things. No, Peabody, I was just asking you if I'm correct. If I'm correct, I'll just ask you if I'm correct. I'm not taking a shot of Peabody. I just ask you if I'm correct.
No, I think the Bible voice.
Now that Lofa was saying to you, no, I can't take shot. That man is doing a great job in Ghana right now.
Well, you took shot at me.
I'm a stranger like you.
Age discrimination. You took
But
shot.
listen now. Lastly, we will not count everything that coming from us, from the everything that coming. Everything that coming from us against the Unity Party, you will see it is true because we'll produce the evidence. You'll see it. Everything that coming out from us, we're not going to play la politics. Everything that coming out from us is true because behind the scene we'll check it out, and we're not going to do the same thing they did to us. We will prove that the Unity Party is easy to prove because our old rule then. They've been stealing before in their record. They get our record. It's there. Google the Unity Party. You will see them. You will see their record. So they're easy. So we'll put it out there.
So before Rawa come in, let me say that on this platform, everybody. One thing I love the platform. We don't censor nobody. So if anybody you have anything on anybody in government, anybody, what the person friendly with, careful with, Larry, with anybody or Grace, anybody, bring it forward. So now we say. What's on your mind? Say anything. Because but one thing I'll tell you, what you want to do, you want to be a platform where you pedal in gossip and lies and just to destroy people. That for me, honestly, I want to do that. When I hear something, I call you the person straight. I say, what's going on? What I'm hearing? Because if I want to know, tell me, like for instance, right now the guy who's in charge of the asset recovery, I reached out to him. I said, look, I want to hear from you because I heard you've been talking about you'll be independent, but I know you are just fighting the CDC and Josh we are there. Your friend Coffee, Martin Colley, Gonkwe, all the guys in that program who I know anti-CDC and we are. So how can you guys will be the one? What can't tell us how will you go after the assets and so forth?
You would never do it.
Political. Okay. I reached out to him. He sent me some message today. I will check it later on. But how you do it? Hear from them. But no, Robert left, but then Lara coming. So I want to. So as I say again, Robert coming. Everybody, you free. You get any information, Lofa. You get information on cool. You bring and see what I will not talking, sir. Bring any information and see what we're not talking, sir.
So Tomalin, I'm sorry. Before Robert coming quickly, there is a news article at Liberia how did Senator Jeremiah Cohen's private hospital get in national budget. We'll talk about that later. You see that right there? This is
not evident enough.
They didn't know. No, this is a data observer. We can talk about. Let's go in the budget. I will put up the budget.
To play the devil advocate here, it's not. It's just a media.
It's not a credible institution, too.
What they
I will not say that. I will not say that.
Okay.
But Robert coming because I went to that hospital. I went to the hospital. And I know they tell you
if it's true, then it's bad. How will you take a private clinic and put in government budget? If it's true, it's bad.
I'm putting up the budget of Dr. Peabody. I'll put up the budget and share with us.
Other guys got to come in. Let
Robert coming.
Somebody will sanction you.
No, I don't feel like getting care. I don't sanction nobody about it. No, one.
Jesus
Christ. Robert,
you're muted. We can't hear you. He's muted.
Let Larry go. Come in, Robert.
Let him go and come back. We can't hear him.
Robert, you good?
Yeah, Robert. Then.
Look, so here's the thing. I think we need to be balanced in a way how people approach this stuff because people can weaponize this thing, right? They can use it as a tool to go after their opponents, right? We've seen this kind of situation here in the U.S. where now it is called swatting. where people would falsely report stuff just to create a crisis and send, police, EMS, and a whole lot of people over to your house sometimes because Marjorie Taylor Greene is one person who gets swatted constantly. Even one time somebody reported the White House was on fire. This year, somebody reported the White House was on fire and everybody went running over there. Nothing wrong with reporting some of these things.
Radical.
She crazy, she's not radical.
Nothing wrong with reporting some of these things, but here it has to be a balance. Because I can never forget when the former agriculture minister under Madam Salif, Chris Toole, when he brought that suit against Front Page Africa. And in his argument, he said, look, some of us have reputation overseas in other countries where we work. And when you say some of these things about us, it tarnishes our reputation because if we wanted to pursue other opportunities, people will see this thing because a lot of entities would do a search on you, a background search. And when they do that background search, they see these kind of rumors and innuendos and things out there. It tarnishes your reputation. And Chris Toole made that statement. He said it was meant to send a message over the Front Page Africa. So we understand that sometimes people will do things, because the person in power is their opponent and all those things. But at the same time, sometimes some of these rumors, they also lead to investigations that also lead to a serious act of uncovering of corruption. But if we look historically, people don't get prosecuted in Liberia for corruption. There's a whole series of people, from people being sanctioned to people who work in the previous government, who are now in the legislative branch. They don't get prosecuted for corruption. So all you're doing right now, you're talking about Jake Abakoli. Well, like Jake said, go out, get the evidence. If he wants somebody, if he's willing to allow the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act in Liberia, to take, people can file for requests on that information, yeah. But I would say we got to have a balance. There has to be a balance between information reported through the right channel over to the LACC. But people shouldn't just use it as a weapon to just go after the opponent, because sometimes a lot of these things we see may just be coming from the opposition. There may be some truth to it, but we don't know. But we need to be careful because some people have some very good reputation overseas, so we got to be careful. We got to be very careful with it. So, I understand Tomalin put it out there. He said he spoke with Jake. Jake is saying, you're bringing any evidence. Let people take up on that challenge and let's move away from that. Otherwise, people will just be using them to tarnish other people's reputation. That's all I can say.
It's true. Robert, you ready?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible now.
Yeah. So I think that few things I want to say. So before I log off, one is that I 100% agree that it's important that as we ascertain facts, especially when it relates to the reputation of folks, I think that people should not just talk. I think people, especially reputable media outlets and journalists, I think it's important that when allegations are made, that those allegations are backed by facts. Because when these allegations are backed by facts, then we can talk about the possibility of prosecuting. Because look, all of these alleged this and alleged that, these are not admissible in court. And so when we're just talking about allegations and having folks who are accused left with the burden to clarify, then you're not going to create a society where people are able to go to court to either be held accountable for their actions or to clear their names. We made an example with this whole indictment on the former officials of government in CDC. Look, I didn't agree with a lot of things that the former Minister of State said. I thought that he, in many cases, impersonated himself when he made the comment about, even if we stole and we invested the money in our own country, is that a bad thing? I mean, it's a stupid thing to have said. But even when these indictments are coming from the greatest country on earth, with not a perfect record themselves, we still want to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I think the U.S. System supports that, right? Innocent until proven guilty. We want to give people the opportunity to due process. and so that the case against them are presented in court. And we want our courts to be able to make decisions not based on hearsay and opinions, but based on facts. Same thing for the War Crimes Code. I think Prince Johnson's a killer, not because I'm basing on hearsay. I think so because there's a video out there of him killing the former president, pretty much, right? There are many cases and instances that can be proven in court that he committed heinous crimes against innocent citizens and foreigners in Liberia during the crisis. However, I would also like to have him have his day in court where he can defend himself and, if possible, present a case stronger than the case of the prosecutor. So I do agree. The incident with Jeremiah Cohn, I have myself referred to Jeremiah Cohn as corrupt. I don't believe Jeremiah Cohn. I don't think he has the kind of character that clears him from being a clean hand kind of guy. And I think to the point Lofa was making, that the allegation of this whole discussion is about whether or not the school in Nima is indeed a public school. And if the school is indeed a public school, then it's predicated upon him and the government to show document proving that this school is a public school, and the justification of public funds are in the benefit and the interest of the Liberian people and not one that benefits Jeremiah Cohn. We talk about the hospital and all of the different things. And so that clarification have not been made. And so it is Jeremiah can come out and say, look, yeah, the document showing that this information was turned over to the public, and this will end this whole debate. This is the argument that people have been making. He has not done so. He has left this thing to be debated in the public, and until he's able to come out and say, you know what, yeah, the document, we went through the processes. I have turned this school over to the public. This is public school, and there's no reason for us to continue to argue whether or not his school receiving a certain amount of money in a budget is justifiable. If it's a public school, the government is supposed to support that school. But what is taking him so long to say, here are the clarification that needs to be made?
Robert, I think it's a clinic, not a school. I think
not a clinic, the hospital. That's what I meant. Yeah, thank you. The hospital. And so all of these things should be clarified. But I do agree that allegations should be done based on facts. We saw what happened politically when the Unity Party attempted to ruin the reputation of a reputable man because of politics in Alice Cummings. We saw what happened. This whole craziness in court, knowing very well that some of the things he was accused of were not things that should have even wasted our time in public funds on court proceedings, right? For you to have a guy like Joseph Boakai, who have known his friend for all these years, it's like me saying in court, I do not know George Lobo. How can you tell me I don't know George Lobo when this guy is a good friend of mine? Just because we're in court and for political reasons, right? One last thing I want to make. I would disagree with Lofa on the basis of Grisby and Alice Cummings. I think it's unfair to pass a judgment on what would have been Alice Cummings' political leadership had he been at the executive mansion and the actions taken by those appointed by him, as opposed to making this whole thing about Grisby's action under JMB. Remember, the leader sets the tone, and the tone set by JMB perhaps have communicated to Grisby, well, these are the actions that are acceptable by my boss. It's different if Alice Cummings was in the executive mansion to make a judgment on what Grisby's actions would have been, his decisions and things that he supported. Because every action and things that are being exhibited by Grisby are all representations of the leadership of Joseph Boakai and what Joseph Boakai condones or what he thinks is acceptable. So, in as much as Grisby was a close friend to Cummings and he was in Cummings' corner, Cummings is not president of Liberia. These things have been done under the watch of JMB, and so I think we should judge JMB's leadership as opposed to Cummings' leadership. When the Liberian people decide to elect Cummings, then we can judge Cummings based on what is being allowed under his watch in his executive mansion. Congratulations to Fair. He just turned 44 years old Monday, president of Senegal, the youngest president to today's date. Of course, there have been other younger presidents elected, but they came to power by force or violence. And this speaks to this whole notion of, I will close on this note, this whole notion of sitting on old mat to plow new one. I don't believe in that. I think that's foolishness, right? Because I don't think that just because a man is 79 years old, his decision in this century will be the best decision ever or the smartest decision ever. We're in different times. We're in times where climate change is important. We're in times where technology is important. We're in times where education in different areas are important. A 79-year-old man may not understand these things, right? But look at what Senegal just did. And when you look at this man, and you look at a man like Dr. Clarence Monuba, I didn't support him, but I really enjoy his articulation of the issues and his plan. And no one can look at Dr. Clarence Monuba and say that this young man, who is older than this dude who just got elected in Senegal, was not qualified enough to lead our country. But in our country, we have a different mindset where we feel like the youngest you are not qualified to become president of Liberia. And we're not giving opportunities to people who understands what it would take to lead in the 21st century, in these centuries of our country. So I'm so happy that Senegal have made the decision that they made, and I'm hopeful that as time goes by, we as Liberians will be able to make similar decisions, look at people's record, look at what people plan to do, look at what they've done, instead of just looking at their age. And on the last note, because I will leave after I'm done with this, I want for once and for all to say congratulations to JMB. I listened to his speech today when he invited the national team to the executive mansion. And I'm encouraged. I'm a soccer fan. Lone Star is all of our team. This is not politics. And I'm encouraged by what he said. And I thought his words were very strong with regards to the team. I'm still got confirmation when I came on the show today that they're still waiting on the balance $200-something thousand of the $322,000 budget that was put forth. I like his encouraging words, his inspiring words to the team. And I'm really hopeful that this government will put this money where their mouth is when it comes to supporting the team. So come 2025 in Morocco, we will see the flag of the Lone Star high in Morocco, and we will be there to support them. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to the team. And I wish the team all the best tomorrow. Thank you.
All right. So,
Yes,
Thank you.
can I just make
well,
a few-second comment here?
People concerning the budget, Robert, it's good though as with the Lone Star, but the budget I just submitted to the legislature, see what's there for, how much money there for the sport, the Lone Star. So I hope they can if they're really serious, they'll put more money in that budget for Lone Star. Yeah,
sports.
Yeah,
it can't just be selective. It got to be holistically done, not just a segment of the sports.
I agree.
No, for all the sports there, I saw in the budget, it doesn't. It's very small, very.
Yeah, it is. So let me clarify this, right? And I think a lot of people, some of us who love the sports, were been invested in this, right? The $150,000 for national sports budget is a drop in the bucket. But I think some of what the president said today is, I think the Ministry of Youth and Sports, LFA, and all of them needs to put together a plan to really reflect what the government actually spends on sports. For instance, you got a budget for $150,000 just for sports. That includes volleyball, basketball, and soccer. But when it comes to Lone Star, for instance, when it comes to Lone Star just for these two games, they submitted a budget of $322,000, which the government have been willing to support them with. So imagine each of these games.
LFS fund them too, though.
LFA is putting, but that's maybe 50%.
The national team is the property of the government.
Of the government, because it's the chief patron of sport. So why is it that budget is under the microscope? The national team the government spends more than that on each of these games. So they need to make sure that they work with all of the different associations, the basketball, the National Sports League, whatever it is, to put together a budget based on the support of these games so that it's reflective in the overall national budget. But that budget is not even close to what they're going to use for this particular games. $322,000 just for the game in Morocco and the one play tomorrow in Liberia.
Yeah, that $1 million that they got our money for. So I think But
You know,
Okay,
I
allows
want to come back. I want to,
but I want to make
buttress.
a comment on
Yeah,
Peabody. You want to go?
yeah,
I want.
go ahead. I'll wait for you.
Okay. Yes, just in passing, because I listen to Professor Larry, and I also listen to what my brother name here, Robert. So the issue that we're talking about here on corruption, legislative corruption, let's put it in context. I think I need to give the bigger picture here. From 2006 to this present, only the executive branch of government has been audited by the GSC. But the legislature has never, the judiciary never. These two branches of government have refused to be audited. The exception, there is one exception in the executive. That exception is the Ministry of State. Under L.M. Johnson Sally, the Ministry of State was never audited. Under President Weah, the Ministry of State was never audited. Now, that's why even President Boakai is talking about auditing the Ministry of State. Okay? Maybe he expects that Ministry of State under him will be audited too. So, in the absence of audit, under the PFN law, anybody who receive public funds, tax dollar, and spend on behalf of government, you must account for it. You must go through GSC audit. You must have internal auditors. But the legislature, zero. They don't accept audit. The judiciary doesn't accept audit. So that is the situation. So you can't serve in the legislature and say, "Oh, I have clean hand." No, because you have acquired properties that your salary, your benefit cannot give you those properties.
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah,
let me just
Peabody.
go back to something that we were discussing earlier, and I think Larry put it right. I think it's very important, you know, as we sit on the show, that we be a bit careful of how we call the folks for corruption and other things like that. Uh, Having the facts before we move on, because I know we're on the previous platform. We know what it was. Sometimes the attack on other people would just flow, and whether it was true, whether it was not true, and because somebody woke up today and said, "Today I'm going after this person," and he would just go and start hating that person and saying all kinds of stuff. Most of the stuff was not true. There were a few guys we knew when you bring it to us, we tell you, "No, I'm not doing that. You tell me to say this or do that. I tell you, I'm out of that. I'm not going to do it. It's not right." So you know, sometimes I know we may have our own feelings, we have our friends, but we want to be a little cautious of how we say these things when we, you know, whether we have evidence or not. You know, sometimes I would say things about people that I know and I know the truth with that discussion. Like, you know, Mr. Gungo made a comment and said that Sir Joseph is building a school and where he got the money from. But I can tell you that school is being built by Jefferson Baptist Church in California. They are the one that are funding that school, bringing nurses to teach in that school and paying for everything. But people don't know these things, you know, sometimes. Oh, what they got. I'm not saying that people are not involved in corruption. We shouldn't challenge them. But it's good to just dig a little bit deeper and get some facts, and we'll bring it out there, you know, before we call them out and stuff, so that our platform remain, you know, a reputable platform and stuff like that. But guys, I'm dying with sleep. I gotta go. I'm on the way across, so I gotta go. It's just killing me. So
Oh
I gotta
wow,
go.
you
I'm really tired too. I've been on the refugee camp Grace all day. You know, working yesterday and today, giving water, food, and other things. So I am burned. But I
man.
mean, the people are in a very desperate situation. Liberians are sleeping all on the street, all over the place. I
Wow.
mean, the home, everything was demolished. I mean, women, kids. It is a crisis. From what I saw, it's a serious crisis. And the government, if any government official listening to this, something must be done to carry those people home. Otherwise, you have people dying very soon because they are living the place, eating and cooking and doing everything in the same place. If nothing is done,
Wow.
we will see a major issue happening. It's serious than what we see. But I was there. I went all in those places, and I've never seen anything like that before. Honestly, I've never seen anything serious. And the government need to do that. Let them not persecute them. Say, oh, they should have gone home a long time. I think now is the time. A lot of them want to go. So thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Dr. Peabody, thank
Thank
you.
you, Dr.
Okay,
Peabody,
Thank
for
you
your
for
work.
your work, bro. Thank you
right?
so much.
But
God
quickly,
bless
guys,
you and your
quickly.
family, bro.
Yeah, guys, quickly look. Let me tell you. I'll say this again, right? People are getting messages. Look, guys, if you, I want that was make our platform to be.
Oh, what's that?
People wanted for you to expose them. That expose them. It can even be you see somebody taking a picture of the person tomorrow. You bring that thing. That look. I know what's in our country. If we bring the evidence, bring it and come up with that for instance, right now, I was just told just now that the lawmakers, right? They have what they call duty-free privileges to when at the free port. Now they want government want to get money, right? So some of them they want to bring in 3, 4, 5 cars. But I heard the new guy already saying, no, you only bring one. Now they're mad with him now. They're trying to some of the guy to the house now, to the legislature now to go deal with the guy because the guy is saying if Lofa Julius is bringing in, he paying money to bring his cars in, like bro, but he bringing 3 cars, he paying money for all the cars he bringing, but then you because you're lawmaker, we give you that, you let you bring cars, like bro, free. Okay, they bring 4, 5 cars, and some of them they're making business on it now. They tell you say, Grace,
right.
Grace, give me a car, I'll carry for you, and they're doing it. So the guy is saying, no, you will pay for a car that anything you bring, you'll pay for it. You want to give you one. You only bring one vehicle free. So the man now is going after the guy. So look, these are kind of people who want to support.
I can talk on that.
Yeah, people want to support to do it. And also I heard too, they have a way, right? My fellow panelists, when the budget has been submitted, for instance, if I'm supposed to get a car from Alliance Motor, I will go there and go start picking my car quickly. But now they said, no, that money, you will wait. That money, if the money is coming to you, we'll pay the money to the people to get the car.
Great.
Because you go take the money and do your own stuff with it. So all this is happening. So people they're not happy with it. And I think one that Professor Larry said the other day, we should get away from this cash in our system. In America, when you go do place, you say no cash. Either your credit card or your bank card. But because we play with cash in that country so much, all the poor hands are sticky. They will continue to play with money. But you can weigh in. Lofa, you want to come here? Or who?
Yeah, I was gonna go in, but let me just say this, right? And Tomalin, when we speak to, and let me just address. I know I heard people say, let us try to be factual in our discussions, that is fine. That's great. As a matter of fact, there should be no reason why any one of us should sit on this platform and falsely accuse anybody for anything that they are not, they are not certain of. Okay? We shouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. My concern here is this, and I reiterate, how many of us are willing to do what the LRA bus is doing today, looking in the eyes of those politicians who call themselves politicians, looking to literally live off of the people? They literally just have these people in this situation where there's no out. They're just caught in this position. What can we as people do? He's being courageous enough to say, look, we can do better than this. I'm not doing what the status quo have always done. And that's why I challenge you. I said, based on all of this statement, can you courageously, Tomalin, call out Jeremiah Kuhn? When allegations are made, can you call them out? And I reference everybody else who I felt like have ties to people in government. We must learn to put Liberia first and not our colleagues. And that is my point. If Jeremiah Cohen, and I think the issue of President Jeremiah Cohen, excuse me, guys, I apologize. Vice President Jeremiah Cohen was involved or allegedly involved with some kind of scandal that had to do with him putting his institution in the budget. That in itself is corruption. No way around it. Did he explain it to us? Did he actually take the course of understanding You and I know this, Tomalin. There is no way on earth anybody would just go out there and attempt tarnishing your reputation and you sit and allow it to go. You will fight fearlessly and tirelessly to make sure that the records are straight. So what happened? This incident took place since 2003. We are yet to hear him make any kind of clarity. Okay, so when we are talking about people, we are not simply sitting on here to falsely accuse anybody. And if we are speaking about fights, then we cannot consider the UP government to be corrupt. Neither can we even consider President we have to have been corrupt, because 98% of the claims that were made on various platforms, they were not supported by fights. These were all allegations based on what people said. So if we must be balanced, I think we must be balanced in its totality. Holistically, we must approach these things so that everybody can benefit from the balanced view on this platform. I am not saying that those who name were mentioned are all corrupt or they were before, but let us be fair to ourselves. With the issue of the LRA boss, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, and continue to do this. Look, I think all Liberians around the world should appreciate this man's action and continue to encourage him, because we need people like him to stand up courageously against the few hyenas and corrupt government officials who feel like some of them were at the end of retirement or they were about to retire because they couldn't make it in the competitive workforce in the United States. So they ran back home to help resuscitate their financial situation or lifestyle, however, just pompous lifestyle they had. So now we are here again where they'll just steal from us. And that is not an assumption. That is not an allegation. That's fights. They went back to steal from our people. Whether you want to see it as a form of giving back, but we are seeing where things are going for now. Thank you.
Yeah, so if I can quickly mention
I come here,
on the ARA issue. Yeah.
Let me say this. Look, that I said earlier before we send it. I'm in full support of the audit, the asset recovery, and everything. Just that they shouldn't be done with politics at all. Don't if for instance, had let's say not because he had, but had President Boga appointed person like say Councillor Gonglo. Okay, I want to be the head of asset recovery team.
Exactly.
And he said, okay, say you can need members of your team. I mean, 100%. It's not about finding jobs for partisan or those who support you. If you do it, do it in good faith and let the people be independent, so that when you announce your committee, people will take it serious. But right now, you can't take people who have been against other people, who have been writing on Facebook, attacking them in the public, and you say go and investigate them. And the last thing is that there's something I know. Councillor Gonglo, Clarence Moneyback, Cummings used to always say in the campaign, they were going to call for a lifestyle audit. It's good, because if I declare my asset, I say I got one house, 3-bedroom house, and then I got one old Toyota car, right? And I got 500 in my account. But after a few months, you see me with, I said, oh, I don't want to be in this skyscraper. This skyscraper. I mean, why I get the money from? Okay, like just before I got on the show, somebody, I won't call it me, but somebody sent me a picture of one of the new big boss having lunch. You know, and I was looking at the picture. They have the same picture they have with I think usually Nangwe they have one picture too eating lunch. They say it too. Now the same person used to make comment about usually Nangwe and say, oh, they put eating lobster. The person now the Jack appointed big job now having lunch today. I mean, I say you see now.
Can we share a picture?
But you know,
I can do it for that, right?
So
because
everybody, change your government address. It's not about real change. It's just about,
so you know, because if I was a few months ago, I was eating from Manjua Kobosha. Now you give me the big job. I will eat to Terracotta or maybe to Hotel Boulevard Palace. I'll eat to the top restaurant in Labrona. I won't go eat to the same place. But again, the how I'll come there.
All right, Larry, you want to say?
Is it time for me?
But I want to just say something.
Yeah,
the LRA issue, you know, I don't want to claim that I spoke with my friend and brother, because the guy who is the Liberia Revenue Authority is actually my brother. He's much more than a friend. I have not spoken to him for a week, but I know some of the issues that come, that issues that we'll talk about even before he accepted the position. But I'm just happy that he's raised it now. Here is the issue. For every budget year, because these actions are linked to the budget. So for every budget year, the legislature will have this benefit that they are entitled to 2 vehicles, duty-free, and personal effect. So they can have their family or friends ship anything to the continue to Liberia and put it in the representative name or the senator name, and it will go free because they are entitled to that. They will consider it personal effect. So they can have business material, any other thing. So when he took over, we don't have a new budget. So there's no new duty-free privilege. So some of the guys who just won, or even those who got re-elected, they already put in something that came and he said, hey, I don't have any reliance, any authority to give you duty-free because there's no law here. These things are attached to every budget year. So there is no current budget approved by the legislature. And if someone into the legislature and threaten him with contempt to even jail him, I think the Minister of Justice, from my information, I didn't speak to him, but from my information from the Minister of Justice, the Justice Ministry wrote an opinion, on that, and I think they're going to go with the opinion. But what is important is this is an issue that many Liberians know about, that these elected officials, regardless of all the high salaries and theft that they are committing, they still get duty-free to bring in vehicles. Imagine, for 6 years, you bring 2 vehicles every year. That's 12 vehicles. You can run used car business. Then you bring in continual personal effect every year. They can run business. So that's the kind of thing he's trying to fight. But I think the guys are the lawmakers. They're going to make a law to just cover that, and it will stand, unfortunately.
And that's the sadness of the whole thing. They go and into the legislature to make those kind of laws.
Once they make that law, then he can't go
instead
against
of making laws to benefit Liberian people. And it's so sad. They are. I mean, these benefits are outrageous. Even us who work here for government, we don't even get those kind of benefits. We processing benefits every day. We're not even eligible for it. We just see it going. The people get collecting it. We can't be eligible for it because they say we make too much money in the first place that we don't even really make. But because of the income limit, you're not allowed to take certain benefits, and they give it to the poor people. That's what America do. Then you ask America, oh, how the country is so blessed. America is so blessed because the people look out for the people. They look out for the poor. They look out for the handicaps. They look out for the disability people. They protect them. You can't even go and work in a nursing home and go do anything to the people or sick people there, and they find you. You know they will do with you? You're going to a good person. And when you do that for the vulnerable people in your society, that's when the country becomes blessed. Why are these people getting this kind of outrageous benefit? That's what Congo is saying. They will go open car dealership. Seriously, after 6 years, when they finish selling the cars and they're entitled to, they can open car dealership. They even need government job again. Why, as our poor people are suffering, a woman like Teresa Kume was beaten in the street, beaten because she was old. The only crime she committed because she was old and had nobody to help her. So they claimed that she was a witchcraft. They beat her to her death. A man from this country just saw the thing and got sorry and said, you take her to the hospital. Let's just give her the ease before she died because she was already dead. Because I told my friend, I said that would will not make it. Have you ever heard any legislature or the gender minister or the health minister or other women and women, they put a hand on? Have you ever heard any of the government make any statement on this?
What about the president who's her age?
The president who's her age never even made a statement. The police director, who is the police director of all times, they say he's the best ever to ever live in Liberia. We yet to see it. He has not made one arrest on that old lady death to send a message and say, you know what? We will not allow this in our society. It's wrong for our old people to be treated this way. It's not only the old people that are in power and in government that the people we respect. We respect the other old people who never work in government. They give something to their brother. They have kids. They're residents. They are citizens. They deserve to be protected. We have not seen that. And that's the sadness of this country. And I just wanted to speak, to what Peabody has said. I wish he was here. But this man is doing an outrageous or a very big job in Ghana. And I applaud him for that. These are the kind of things that we should be raising money for. Seriously, Peabody down that we're supposed to be even raising money to send to him to help the people. Then for the people to be wasting their money on these people on social media, gossiping and sending them thousands of dollars. These are the kind of things we're supposed to be helping our society. But the thing that I wanted to touch on what he said was that, people like Sir Joseph and you see the man? He eating now.
Put the picture, please, man. Put the picture.
People like Sir Joseph, he was seen for Senator Sir Joseph. Oh, the man got people that are sponsoring his school. And that's the reason why the people ain't got evidence when they say things like that. Okay, we understand. But isn't it seeing schools that they got people sponsoring instead of them telling the real public that we got people sponsoring their project? They act like it's for them. So the people vote them in power because of those things that they have, thinking that they won't use their own money for in their pocket to present those things and get those things to the Liberian people. So what do you expect the people to say? They will accuse them. They will accuse them because they never told us that, you know what, we are being sponsored and this is for Liberia. And they have never, said it over and over for it to click. Margaret Johnson said, when we sing this song over and over, it clicks into the people's minds, we become famous. So when you tell the people, you know what, I'm doing this, I'm just a vessel. But people are sponsoring this project, this is not mine. If you're voting for me to be a senator in the government, it means that you're just voting for me because you know I can do the work. It's not because of what I do, because this building I'm building is not mine, it's for people that are sponsoring it for the Republic of Liberia. You don't make it to us like you don't want a bunga or you don't want a chief for everything. Then when the post are accusing you, then you start getting scared and say, oh no, and no evidence, no evidence. This time we are not even looking for evidence because they don't have all the evidence.
They are very, yes.
They're crooked. They will cover the book. They will cook it. They will cook the books about the financial post. When you go there, you can't even find. You see the thing happening, but you can't find it. You just want to say, but how I can't find it? But you know it happening. And that's where Liberia is. And yeah, it is so sad, man.
She said,
it is so sad. Yeah. Like Liberia may say, yeah. I'm telling you. The old people and the young children, they are being reduced. The people have been, they removed them from reality. What is it? They could get benefit of whole lot and just live in a peaceful nation and just have what is rightfully theirs. But when one group of people decide they will take everything for themselves, that's where we are, the situation we find ourselves in Liberia. And we are so sad. That's why we will not be happy. Joseph Braga Legge, he can do that. He can go Mespi for football. No, I said we will see before we believe. For me, I just waiting to see what it will be Guinea and what it will be the projects and what it will be doing for Liberia until I see it. I personally, I am not a politician. I never did politics before. I like to advocate to help people. When this election came, I started sitting there and said, we talk, we not do working like we not do the politician. Who is it among the people that I think that can do anything? I look at each of these candidates one by one, their track record, what they did to when they were working in. I went to Dr. Clarence Monipa when I poured that man information on when I saw the man vision and plan for Liberia. I said, I will have to join them. I like to talk about politics. Anybody who was watching me, if you know me, you're friends with me, you will see I dance for that man. I made t-shirt for him. I did everything I could. I call all my people because you cannot see that kind of experience and youth in the man and that he could deliver something for the country. You say, oh no, we're for the paper in a time because they were online. So that he turned and they were online. That's why the people in Liberia will continue to suffer. And it's not only them to be blamed because the people here in America, they too are fighting for a job to lead a nursing home job and the other job that they're doing because they're not making enough money. They can't stand the competition. Like Lofa said, they had to run back to Liberia because they were looking to run back. They talk here and confuse the people, the propagandists and that Eugene Falcon. That man, I know I will ever forget that man in my life. The way that man sat on platform and degraded people, lie on the character. They saw the background. just because he wanted that LBS job. I think he wanted foreign minister job, but they're shaking and put him to LBS. Let's see what he will create for LBS, because LBS position, brother, you have to be creative. You're not getting propaganda there, or the people don't need propaganda there. You have to be creative. Now you're fighting Kwame Weeks. You're saying Kwame Weeks will your librarian news agency page after he created all that stuff, the panorama. You want to take everything away from him because you don't think that he deserved that director position. Then you'll remove him, but you're not witch hunting, and that's some of the things you'll do. So let's see whether you got the capability and the ability to change LBS, what the people used to, what the LBS we used to learn from when we were small, all the different things, the program the people used to set up, we used to listen to it, and it used to change. The people never carry politics to that entity. So please don't carry your plenty talking there. Then you say the government help you, don't carry your plenty talking there. God not helping you. You wanted the position, you gotta go and do a job there.
So let me say something real quick.
Let me bring in Professor Kennedy quickly. I don't want him to throw something quickly, Professor Kennedy, right? I beg you guys. Look, Professor Kennedy, I think you we've seen all the problems we're seeing now. We have seen since 2023 to 2005 to 2023, 18 years now. And to me, people are saying, who you blame? I mean, you blame the people. We the people. Because here's the irony. People was, when it comes to election time coming 2028, we are coming our political parties again. We were 13, 15 parties. But then at the end of the day, you will end up going, you will be endorsing somebody. But why you couldn't from the get-go, you're saying all aligned together, why you couldn't come together and be one to question ideas? But y'all go separate ways in split our groups and have about 10% running for president. So now, and the same results been happening for the last 18 years. Same results, the same thing happening. Same thing we doing happen, the same thing. Now, people are saying, "Oh, blame the people," because if the people who make the decision right now, I tell you, every day in our inboxes now, the very people who are insulting us and saying, "My man, let me friend, man. I know we shall listen to what I was saying to somebody. See what happened right now." But Professor Kennedy, just tell us, you agree the people should be blamed, and what should be the remedy for it? For us now to avoid what happened the last 18 years shouldn't happen in 2029.
You know, when you look back at that whole research that was done by Crowler called Growth Without Development, when it came out at the end of the day, which was 60 years ago, they came out and said the reason why you have some of the issues in Liberia is because the society as a whole, the society is corrupt as a whole. So people and the reason why you see administration after administration, nothing seems to be changing, is because at some point, if the people were to come together, which is extremely difficult for Liberians because we don't seem to come together and unify against one cause. We never seem to do that. Places like Taiwan, that Liberia was doing so much better. Taiwan decided one day, look, we're going to put an end to corruption, and people came together and they started enforcing the rule of law. If you don't enforce the rule of law in Liberia, nothing's going to change because trying to change the people is a mistake. You got to change the system. You got to change the system and make the system fair for everyone. Because legislators are not going to go and pass laws that will hurt themselves, remove things out of the budget that will harm them because you think something is wrong with them. You have to change the system. And it will probably start when you have a leader who is going to set the agenda and prosecute people. If you don't do that, nothing is going to change. Even when Samuel Kedu at one time was trying to hold people accountable for taking loans for rights and I want to pay for it. When he wanted to hold people accountable, people would turn against him. They turned against him because they wanted to take stuff for free and not pay for it. They turned against him. To change the system, you don't just come, for example, you see the chasing behind cars. They're saying these are government-owned cars and they want to try. Look, for example, over in Houston, over in New York City, we use a system called M5, Fleet Focus. We attach something on the computer in every car. I don't care where you go in Liberia with that car. We'll be able to identify where that car is located and come and get it from you. But you're telling people to go turn it over, they're not going to do it. So if you're going to have an agenda called the rescue mission, when you think of rescue, you think of firefighters, you think of police, you think about people who will come and save you. If you think of a mission, you think people who are dedicated to a cause. So rescue mission, people who are coming to save you that are dedicated to the cause of saving you. You don't start breaking in people who have some shaky background. How are you going to be rescued by an arsonist? You can't do that. You know, you say, oh, I want to be rescued from a fire. Who I'm going to hire to rescue me? Somebody who's an arsonist, who used to setting fire. No, you got to bring in a large group of people who would be dedicated to the cause, and the president got to set that rule. I mean, if you do this, you're going to get fired. If you're going to bribe legislators, we're going to hold you accountable for that. But over the past 60 days, we've seen a lot of different issues popping up here and there. That doesn't seem to be addressing the whole issue of rescuing. Because year after year after year, we see the same situation in Liberia. Nothing doesn't seem to be changing. Why is it that everybody is running to be a legislator? It's profitable. It's profitable. People who are not qualified, they're willing to spend as much of their own personal money to get that job. Why? Because it's profitable and they will enjoy it. And the people don't benefit at all. The pro agenda, you're supposed to put the poor people ahead of your own personal agenda. That didn't happen. The World Bank reported that more people became poor under the pro agenda than at any other time in Liberia history. Let's see what's going to happen to this administration, because right now, since January 22nd, the Liberian dollar has been falling. It was at, I think, 90 or 89. Now it's like 193. It was like 189, 190, it's like 193. And as the Liberian dollar starts losing value, things become more expensive for poor people. Those are the kind of things you focus on. So, I mean, things haven't changed because it has to be like a trickle down. You got to start from the president and trickle all the way down and hold people accountable. But it all starts with the rule of law, Brother Tomalin.
Professor Larry, any hope that things will change?
Robert, when you asking Larry a question, what you say?
I was just trying to inquire whether he has any hope. Is there any hope that things will probably change in the not too distant future? Not like, you know.
I think, one time I was really, really optimistic, but I'm kind of moving back a little bit to being pessimistic, because I thought this rescue mission was going to come with a ton of experience, hit the ground running. But I think there may be some hope. But again, people have to wait for what? 6 years or so. 6 years. And let's see.
So will you? I know you try helping. You try helping the alien people, the weird people. Will you also try helping the Waga people too?
Yeah, it's not so much of helping them. It's like helping the Liberian people. So if they reach out to me,
Okay.
I'll definitely be willing to give them support, because the things they're trying to do, I more than likely have. If I don't know somebody who's done it, if I haven't done it, I more than likely will know somebody who's done it, and I'm very good at doing the research. Because I have finance, economics, and IT experience. I have those three experience, and everything in this country, in this world today, it runs under information technology, big data. So, if they reach out to me, definitely I'll be willing to give them support, whether it's in areas of tourism, it's in areas of fixing the economy, job creation, it's in area of even training people, because I do a lot of consultation and doing a lot of teaching and stuff. Training people, be willing to do that as well. So, yeah, absolutely. It's for the Liberian people, not so much of the administration itself.
Thank you, Professor Larry, at least for accepting. We can't hear you if you're talking.
We're telling reach out to you. We're telling reach out to you.
Our question, Tomalin, is asking somebody to ask a question.
We still can't hear you. You got to go and come back.
Raul come here. Raul come here.
Can't hear him.
Oh, Raul left.
Is a
Yeah,
consultant.
we couldn't hear him.
Tomalin is a consultant.
Consultant. Okay, maybe you don't want to pay me.
I thought he was a lobbyist. He's more than a consultant.
I afraid he was a lobbyist. Now he's a consultant. But let's take some calls. Robert's not here. Let's take some calls.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's bring the guy from the studio. Henry, come in. Let's take some calls from back home.
French message shows the same thing.
By the way, tomorrow the Supreme Court, the full bench, will be hearing the prohibition on the tenure position, especially the LTA commissioners there. So tomorrow we'll see.
Okay,
let me say tomorrow we're looking up to tomorrow the Chief Justice saying Nyenwolo, Justice Nyenwolo Koli, Justice Yamin Bese, and Justice Kaba. Tomorrow we'll hear what we're saying, how do we rule in the LTA case on tenure issue. I think the Supreme Court already the ruled ever since the last Supreme Court. The bench ruled also in that tenure issue, but some people are still pushing the tenure issue to remove tenure people, which is wrong. But let's hear what happens tomorrow. We respect the Supreme Court. We look forward to them. I think there are people.
Supreme Court, Liberia Political Forum.
No,
Yeah.
we want to
Let me get this.
we expect them to come out something good tomorrow. Yeah, from them. So let's give them a chance tomorrow. Yeah, I would say.
So let me say this. For something Grace said, and I just wanted to push back a little bit, Chris. Okay, you talk about Dr. Clarence.
I always expect that anyway. Okay.
Yeah, you talk about Dr. Clarence Mulleby, right? And you said nothing wrong because I like the guy.
His name is Moniba.
Yeah,
Moniba.
Maniba. Dr. Clarence Maniba. Okay, thanks for that correction. So you said something about him that I don't disagree with, but here is what I do disagree with. I don't think that when it comes to election and the fall march of our country, I don't think we should limit it to young and versus old. I think it's about quality, right? I'll give you an example. You look at Professor Larry Kennedy. Professor Larry Kennedy cannot be seen as a guy who cannot make an impact because he is not within 45 or 50. We can't say that. Obviously, he's a man of wisdom and he has a lot to offer our country. The mistake that we've made in Liberia is that we've looked at people and defined their experiences only based on their age and the number of years they've been in politics without considering their track record and what they've done in previous positions held. And I think it's on this basis that I objected to Unity Party and particularly the Waka, right? Because I was looking at his record, the time he served in public service, the impact he's made in each of these positions held. And if I was asked to pick between Dr. Clarence Maniba and Joseph Boakai, my decision would not be based on Joseph Boakai being the most experienced only because he's serving government for a certain number of time. It definitely would not be based on that. I would definitely pick the dot, right? And so I don't want us to say because someone is old and someone is beyond this a certain age, so they can't make an impact. I think we have not elected the right elders, people who truly have the experience, people who are true expertise, have expertise level experience in certain areas like Professor Larry Kennedy and others. I don't think we've made that choice. Last point I want to make here is Kemi Weeks. I think Kemi Weeks should be ashamed of himself, and this is coming from a guy I don't like.
Yes, Larry.
Kwame.
Thank you, Larry.
They got two weeks. They got Kimi and they got Kwame. So
he corrected Grace. He corrected himself. Kwame should be ashamed of himself. Thank you, Robert.
Because just because you created a platform doesn't mean it belongs to you. This is
it belongs to you
that we're talking about. He would not have gotten the 70-something thousand followers had that platform not been created under the institution that he represented. Period.
Thank you.
And you know what? He has been on social media for a very long time. Now, I know he's watching tonight. He has been on social media for a very long time. Why has he not been able to successfully turn his page into a public figure page, a page to get the kind of followers on his own page prior to ascending to the position that he ascended to?
And Robert, if you allow me to, I'll let you live.
I need to answer Robert when it comes
1 second. Let me land.
1 second. Let him land. Let Robert land. Let Robert land. Says great.
Yeah, I understand. Y'all not trying to because me and y'all, I will answer your back.
Yeah, that's fine.
Your answer, Grace. Grace, your answer. Let Robert land.
That institution was created under an umbrella. That umbrella he represented. And it's the professional thing to do here is to not come and justify that you created the platform and so that belongs to you because you're no longer serving in that position. Here's a question to Mr. Weeks. Had CDC won and had he kept his job, would he have encouraged the institution to open or the government to open a platform under a new LNS? This is craziness. All this argument about, this is my platform. Wait a minute. Who asked you to open that platform? What operation you ran on that platform? Was it a private operation or was it the operation under the position which you serve? So these are the kind of unprofessionalism we should all frown at. He is doing a very unprofessional thing. The professional thing to do is to turn that page over to the entity and let the other folks continue to do that and let the page continue to grow as that entity entity's page. Coming
Robert?
with Kwame with
Okay, wait. Lofa,
Yes or no?
your guys,
I would
wait.
not encourage that.
Wait.
He has shown
Robert,
himself
Robert, Lofa, wait,
What?
Robert. I will urge you to speak with Kwame before making statement like that. That is, we sometimes we have problems in the country. We'll speak to something because we want to speak. If you want, I can put you in contact with Kwame, and so you can listen to
We
his
need
side.
to invite Kwame to
Yeah,
come.
so you can listen to his side.
But here's the thing, though.
You're saying something, Robert, that you need to get more information. If you get more information from Kwame, you change your side. So
No,
so
I
please,
wouldn't say something.
please,
I wouldn't say
please,
something
if you want to,
based on what have been out there.
no,
So-
but
so
don't,
it-
but Robert.
Oh, man. Okay, so
yeah, he
Kev,
gone.
here,
Yeah,
Kev,
yeah,
I mean, in Robert's defense, though, here's what Robert is talking about. Robert is not saying Kwame should not own what he claimed is his. The reason why people are invited or hired to institution is because they expect them to be innovative, and you cannot come and apply that innovative thought. And when you're no longer a part of the institution, you expect to take that with you. The reason why we brought you in the first place is for you to be that creative. And when you have created that platform, you are innovative enough to think outside the box, something that never existed. You cannot leave. That reminds me of the days when we were young playing soccer. When you
Let me
no
ask
longer
you,
on the
Lofa.
field,
Let me ask you,
you had to be
Lofa.
taken
Lofa,
off.
let me
You
ask you
can't-
this question.
Yeah, ask me
Lofa,
a
let
question.
me ask you the question. You ever use your car for your job operation on the operation? Go use your car. You ever do that?
Well, first of all,
No. Answer me, my man. You ever use your car?
Yes, I use my car I have used my vehicle, but I get
Yeah,
paid.
no, right. No. I'm asking. So when you leave in that job, you leave your vehicle?
So you claiming that this?
No,
platform
I'm
belongs-
just asking you.
Come
No,
on
no,
now.
no. I'm just asking.
You
It's
want
a
me to answer the
simple-
question or no?
Yeah, but
I'm
it's a
not going to
simple.
answer yes
I'm
or no
asking
question.
Kwame,
you.
can I come in
If
because I
you
have to
leave in
answer
that
the
job, will you
question.
leave your vehicle? That's simple.
If it is my personal vehicle, yes, I'm taking it with me.
Okay, the page that his personal page.
He turned it into his personal page.
That his page.
It
So
wasn't.
he's not gonna
He
leave it.
created that under the
No,
institution
but
that he was
if you're
hired to
doing
work
government
for.
work with it, I don't think it can
You
be.
hire right. So all the
then
time.
So that's
it's
what I'm
something.
saying.
all
That's
the
what I'm
time-
saying.
so Keff Hassan,
That's what I'm
you're
saying.
telling me
Lofa
that he
Julius
was
will use
cheating.
a car for his
He was
job.
cheating while he was on the
he
job.
should leave it
So
where he
all the
good.
time, because
Well,
when he
well,
should have been at work,
let
he was
Grace
out there doing
let Grace come
podcasts.
in. Grace,
You're
No,
out
no,
there doing
guys,
podcasts.
guys,
Go ahead,
guys.
Sis Grace.
So yeah,
That
and
is
thank you.
unprofessional.
I'm not disagreeing with Lofa. I'm not disagreeing with Kev. I'm not disagreeing with Kagwa. What I'm saying is that there are processes in regaining government property. If you think this is a government property, there are processes and procedures that are supposed to be carried on. They're supposed to use regulations and everything to carry on this, to be able to interact with Kwame Weeks to turn the page over. Are they doing those things? Or is just some aggressive thing and say, oh, you need to turn the page? So I just don't understand. I haven't spoken to Kwame. I don't know what's
There
going
you
on.
go, Grace.
I just
There
see
you go, Grace.
how are you
There you
doing
go.
it? For you to be professional, you have to put professionalism
There you go,
to your
Grace.
work. And that's
Those
what
guys,
I'm saying.
Grace, those guys, what they're doing, they're going into you, they're demanding, you got to leave this, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. That's not the right way, Lofa. You can sit down and look into it, but you got to leave this, you got to leave this. This is for us. Use it now. They say they're going to court, they're going to police, they're going to this. You got to do this, you got to leave this. Lofa, if you guys know exactly what the Unity Party doing in that country.
Yeah, but I'm talking.
I like what the person said. Julian Ho. If the page was in his name, yes, but the page was using Liberian name, so it's not his personal page anymore. It's true though. I agree with the person.
No, that's not.
No, but you cannot use a Liberian agency and he said, no, I just, I mean, anyway.
Are there regulations in place?
Can I ask Kev a
They
quick
need to
question?
go by the books to get the page from the man. That's what I'm just saying.
So
Okay, yeah, the proper way. That's all.
Can I ask you you and Kev Hassan a quick question? Okay. When I got to my job, there was an old vehicle that I had to use for everything that I do. I just got assigned a new vehicle assigned to me under my name. When I'm leaving, is that vehicle mine or is this own?
It's this
You see,
on.
that's two different things. That's two different things.
The
The
vehicle that's own.
vehicle registered under the company name. So
The
it's not your
the
vehicle.
vehicle is assigned as
No,
I own the
assigned
driver,
to,
whether
but the
any
page
of my
was
guys are using it.
the page was not assigned to
Okay, so
Kwame. Kwame created that page.
So you're telling me every idea that I bring to the North Carolina Department of Information Technology, upon my departure, I should take it with me. Upon my departure, I should take it with me.
You, if you use your car, your personal car for the job, you say yes, you use your car for personal on the job, your personal car. Will you leave that car? You know you're not going to leave that car.
So can I just finish with what I was saying? I wanted to answer Robert Gagua next question concerning age. I did not say that if people are older, they don't have the right to sit in any capacity or be a president of Liberia. No, that's not what I'm saying. Now, Joseph Boaga age, I think, is too old, to tell you the truth. I think that there's supposed to be a law that is in the system that shows that for you to be a president of Liberia, because Liberia, Africa, you have to be alert to rule that country, to lead in any African nation. So for me, even the entire Africa, the president should not be more than 70 years old. After 70, you need to retire. We need to put you somewhere. You start playing with your grandchildren. Yeah, you start playing with your. This is America. America's super way advanced. Joe Biden can run to the flag. Joseph Biden can run to the flag. He cannot. So that's what we're saying.
No, you can say, Papi what?
Jogging.
Want
to take few calls?
Before you go to the call, let me say this. Okay. The mistake that people. Okay, go ahead, Grace.
Okay, so I wasn't seeing when it comes to age. I still stick on 70 years and under supposed to be president for any African nation. Secondly, I was not comparing Dr. Moniba age range with Dr. Moniba. I know he has the experience. He worked here internationally. He worked locally. He has the number of years on his belt. The credential is there. And he had the vision and the plan for the nation. That's why I jumped behind him and I thought that he was the best person. Never met him before. Did not know him prior. But I just read everybody's information and went on their website and found out what the plans they have for Liberia. And I personally chose Dr. Clarence Monipa. That's the reason why. It had nothing to do with his age. It was just a plus for me that he's an energetic young man. He will be able to get up in the morning, go do his boxing, and do his exercise, and go to Liberia work. That was just it. So I got nothing against older people. I just saying that Liberia needs an energetic president to transform the nation, because where we are, we need nobody sleeping. That's just it.
Okay.
So, Senegal just elected. We're brief until about 5 calls, right? But
yeah,
Senegal just elected.
Let me just say this before you go to the phone line. It will be my closing, because I'm freezing down here in this basement. I'm telling you, man. It will be my closing.
Kev, no blue.
Put the heat on, man. Don't be scared. Put the heat on.
No, the heat is on, but basement always cold. Always. I don't know why. You know. But let me say this. Grace, you're right. You know, let's look at Senegal, for example, for the 4-year-old man. Right?
I'm on about him. I'm about the same age.
Yeah, he's the president.
He turned 45 March 15.
Yeah, but he around the same age.
They mess up on March 24. They man who guy like that. We March, but we great though.
Yeah, you see, so he president.
You are your friend with a VP,
but
you might follow Seattle, right?
You know, but Liberia, you know, other country would put maybe 60 something, and this, but Liberia decided to go 80 years. Oh man, you're right, 100% right, Graceful. Liberia, the state of that country, especially post-war, you don't need. You need people like Buckeye to be in the back, you know, maybe give some advices, but he cannot run that country. Look, so you see the mistakes that are going on. Tomalin, less than 100 days, so many mistakes. How you would take one position and give it to 2 people?
Yeah,
I
but
will not.
none of Papi do nothing. People making mistake.
But Tommy, you just made my point.
That's the point.
That's the point there.
He's supposed to be.
But how you work for?
That's the point there, Grace.
They put the man higher. They not they messing up. But
But that's
take
the
care of them.
point. That's the point.
Take care of them.
That's the point.
That's the
If
point.
you think you have energetic experience and everything,
that will not happen.
you will not to check fact that thing when you bring it to the table.
That's the point there.
The point. Yeah.
That's exactly
What
what
you're
we're
talking
talking about.
Money about you work with a man, you can just say, hey man, how like grandpa missed the boy? I didn't miss it.
That's
But
exactly
you don't Grace. 2029. Right now, we already started the movement. They call it the last stand. The last stand. We already the last stand.
The coach told me I come in join you.
Maybe I call it the last stand. We already started. That last stand.
And you know, Grace. And not only Tommy, you hear a lot of people with different networks. It's not the Pape. The Pape ain't no. The Papa ain't nobody. But we're saying, but that's the point. If the Papa ain't nobody, that's what we're talking about. He's supposed to know. But everybody
defend. Look how Patrick is defending Kwame Weeks. Defend the guy. He said, "Man, talk about no the man credit card."
No, but but you know what? No, but you see, a lot of personal things will be there. You can't just stand over a lot. You can't just stand over that. The agency can fix their own. They can't get their own 70-something thousand people. I thought they say the popular. They can do their own. So somebody that's it's cool down here, guys. We'll see you on Wednesday. Grace, see you guys.
Yeah, Kev.
All right, you're gonna get 5 calls quick, guys. We'll go.
Let's take calls. Let's take calls.
5 calls quick. We'll call it a day.
0177635 is the number of the call they're gonna be live. 077701765 is the number of the call here on the closing document, and then you're gonna.
So, Grace, which party you belong to?
077701765.
So supporting Lionel candidate.
Lano.
Let's go. Hello. How are you? You're from where you join us?
My name is Erika and I'm Vision
Okay, Evi, go ahead. 1 minute.
Thank you, Chief. And I want to appreciate the panelists, for the discussion, right? But I don't really get sometimes, when people wondering as to how things really happening abroad, when they are not getting what. For the fact that, people spoke about those things within this country on radio that this man is not able. Now, how can you get a man, as the president within a country who does the measure with other water? Someone who to impact it. Yes, but the man to do good. The man to dance with the devil. So the man dance, he dances by the truth of the devil. So for the fire, you are able to be, able to dance with the devil to get a president. You have nothing doing. Then nothing right. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, we're listening.
Go ahead.
Lastly, here's the thing. Look, the Bible says, a reason for who you see, calamity within a republic is that anything that the Bible says, it must come to pass. The Bible says, what man think so she is, he is.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
So, the man tells the devil nothing good.
077017635 is the number of the call, and they're gonna be live on the posting document. 077017635. So let's call up. Hello.
Hello.
How are you? You're from where you join us?
I'm Emmanuel Pratt calling from Bagri.
Okay, Emmanuel, 1 minute, please.
Thanks for the show. I just appreciate you people for your hard work and for your information, education to help the Liberian people. But here's the problem. Today, why, doing our little hustle, people passing around telling you, Campbell, do not fail again. So I'm not expecting us now to hustle or to live in Liberia now. Because we don't get money to go big gas station, we don't get money to go, all of our APR to have to go buy a car and share. Aussi, pour pas dire, oh, it's no can be on the street again. So now we survive. And no job to say, oh, we'll go do job before we get money to feed our family. But a little we're doing to do something ourselves. They come to say, put on us on the street.
Okay, that's it. Another day we'll try to test on that. I hope the panelists they are listening to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, nothing to do but try to like keep it real. Try to like keep it, as a family man, doing your 1 or 2 hustle. And the only me is to sell gas along the road. But you already said now government is saying that do not sell along the road.
Because the government believes that Cambodia voted for we are. That's the reason.
So let's call her.
Hello, my name is F. Anthony. I'm calling from Nizo community.
Okay, 1 minute.
All right, thank you for the platform. My contribution, when it comes to like rescue, when I say rescue, if anybody follow the thing you call rescue, I will just carry it down to the movie, like Rambo, or Father, when they go to rescue, what can happen to the people that go to rescue, right? I will suffer till the show go to an end. So we shouldn't even look at this to say it's strange to us. As long as we discuss rescue, when it comes to rescue, we have to suffer till we see the end. That's the simple things we continue to go through in the country.
Okay, thank you. We'll be suffering till we go to the end. That's it. Rescue 07770.
Two more. Let go.
35 is the call 077701765. So let's call her. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. I want to say thank you to the panelists, and I'm very proud that my sister Grace mentioned one of the Liberian finest in Tata Clarence Mohamba.
Your name from where you join us?
My name is El Nuskoli from Pinsio City.
Okay.
I listened to all the presidential candidates and I read his platform. I was intrigued. And as a student of development studies, I knew he knew what he wanted to do. He had everything. If you sit with Dr. Clarence Mohamba and he will explain to you his plan step by step, and like we all miss such an opportunity, but we can still redeem because Dr. Clarence Mohamba is the dream for 2029. Thank you.
Thank you so kindly. 2029, Dr. Clarence Mohamba 077701765. 077701765. 2 more, and then we turn back to the panelists. Let's call. Hello.
Hello,
How are you, sir?
I'm okay. I'm seeing people and I join your conversation. People, they share number 4. You see, I just heard part of the panelists saying, oh, Nanane Papi. And where this was so the Liberian people, it was so very Papi picture. Liberian people was to say, you know, you didn't buy any other places. But it's so disgusting for people to be telling us that, oh, the Babylonian guy is looking at it, he's looking at it. The Papi was told to us as a man of wisdom. So what happened to the wisdom? And we are left in a total state of no hope. People who are hustlers, they are coming after us. Hustlers, particularly selling gasoline along the wayside, they're taking us. That's a good policy. The city, all our fire is also going around. They sound good to take them out. But are you taking them out to just dump them somewhere else that they will not even get a daily meal? If they look at this zero again, they are 1 million a day. If you get 1 million a day, people are selling gasoline and you get it off. All kind of things are happening. Health ministry is so crucial. Now you got 2 deputy ministers there, 1 lady and 1 guy from Lima country. It is not being settled. All kind of crisis all around the system. Where is the wisdom? So anything happen tomorrow, people will say, just like brother lay administration. Nobody's going to say, for instance, or Garros or Prime Moy, because those are people behind the scene cutting the shot, or you clip it,
Okay.
cutting the shot.
Thank
You are
you.
going to say, just like for that government.
Okay, thank you. One more. And then we can
Hey, last one, right?
Don't take this
Hey,
one.
last one, right?
This won't be out.
Okay.
Yes.
Henry, let's make that the last one. I got a couple calls on this from this thing.
And you from where you join us? Hello?
Yeah, I'm Jessica M. Charlie Jr. calling of this Alex.
Okay, our last caller.
You see, it is sad. I hear people talking about the papi is not his fault. It's not about papi. See, you want to talk about Karen Mori.
Dress away from the radio.
Hello?
Dress away from the radio or you lower the radio. The feedback.
Yeah, hello, you getting me now?
I'm getting you. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I was saying, like the woman talking about Karen's money back. Some of us thought that comics could be the best. But I'm always saying they want to send Baka. And like the other caller said that they bought Send Baka by photo. So the photo that is or that photo came with wisdom. The photo came with everything that would make Labron be better. Why would they blame on lawmakers, ministers, all of these people? That big to see Labron being better. Julius Baka must stay strong to make it come. That's what I have to say.
Thank you so much. That's it.
All right, guys. Let's take
arguments. Yeah.
Let's take this caller on here. Caller, go ahead. 614. Let's hear from you. Yanime, where are you calling from? Go ahead. You got a minute.
Well, my name is David. Lofa Julius, thank you for having me on your show.
David, go ahead.
Yes, I listened to Tomalin trying to defend Jake Kabakoli. Jake Kabakoli, go to Pinsville Town Hall and ask about Jake Kabakoli. But very said I'm calling today. Jake Kabakoli is a daytime criminal. So if he's accused of stealing from the Liberian people, it is a living truth. Tomalin, you don't know who you're talking about.
The question, Tamerlane's position here is, do you have evidence? That's what he's speaking of. Do you have evidence to that? Not just hearsay.
I have evidence to substantiate my claim towards Jake Kabakoli.
Okay.
If he's accused today that he invested money for the Liberian people, it is true. It is true because I interacted with him up to present in court. Jake Kabakoli is a daytime criminal.
All right, thank you. All right, guys. I think that's the only call I will take for the night. We'll call it a day. Let's cut it out. We're pretty much running out of time here. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Let us give what's on our mind, and we'll do it so we can call it a day. So we'll start with Grace. What's on your mind, Grace?
Come on, I'm hoping that Liberia will one day, somebody, I think that Dr. Peabody, he said anything that in our lifetime. Because, let me tell you the truth. 120 years from now, none of us on the platform will be alive. Yeah, so and the people think 120 years from now is far, but it's not. So it's just so sad that I'm still trying to hold on to my hope for Liberia. And we just want to admonish this administration to do what they promised the Liberian people that they would do. Yeah, they came here, they talked, they spoke. Most of them who spoke and fought for the job, they put it in the position. They are there now. Not do what you're supposed to do. You follow the processes, how to do things, especially when it came to that coming weeks thing, what you can do to get that platform. Because the platform is rightfully the entity platform. But what are the process and regulations there to transfer that platform back to the entity? That's what you're supposed to be focusing on. And that's what we expect of you to do. So we can't sit here and say, oh, no, this and that. Yeah, he opened it, but he opened it in the entity name. So it rightfully theirs. But how can it transition to them? That's the question. And what they have in place. I don't know whether they're talking from the position. I don't know whether they have somebody new there. All those things. You have to be able to work with the people. That's why we have laws and we have bylaws and everything in a job that will tell you that when you're leaving here, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, give us our information back and this and that and the other. And when you have all those things in place, when you have the right leader to make sure these things are happening, it makes it easy for the government to work for everybody. And for everybody to be satisfied, because they know they're supposed to turn certain things over when they're leaving. So that's what we are saying. And I'm just like, my prayers are out there for the Liberian youth. I worry about them a lot, because at least I have, looking back, I thought I did not have the opportunity because we left Liberia with that war situation, but I think we have more opportunity than them. The way our parents brought us up, the schools we went to, they were legit. We learned, our foundation was strong, and they don't have that. And those children are our future leaders for tomorrow. And these are the things I worry about. But I hope Liberia will get to a better place, that we will live and see the transition in our country, and the people will make the right decision come 2029, and put somebody in power that will be able to lead Liberia, to a better place, and change the country to a new Liberia, where we will leave all these things behind and prosper the way we're supposed to prosper, because our country is rich enough for us to do that. Thank you.
Amen. Karabo, what's on your mind?
Well, here's what's on my mind. I listen to Grace, and I just want to pick from Grace's last statement. If you have to wait for 2029, you'll wait in vain. And I'll be very emphatic about that. Here is the reason. Those of us who grew up in the villages, when you live in a village, you come out walking barefooted, you go in the bush, you use stick, you use leaves to clean yourself. That's the best you know. You go to the best part of the bush. If somebody comes from Morovia and know that this is what you're doing, they cover their face. How can human being do so? Live such a life? Because that is the best we know. Okay? Our Catholic priest, Thomas Father Harding, and myself used to communicate. He was working in Kenya. He said to me, in the villages in Kenya, what marvels him was children going barefooted, but they are happy. Mothers don't have food for the children, but the little they have, they're sharing it a little bit, and they're all happy, smiling. He said he could not understand why were they smiling when he felt they were living in abject poverty. Because that's the only environment they knew. No other environment. Liberia knows no poverty. Liberia knows no poor quality quality education. Liberia knows everything sustained. Our politicians have never created an alternative. We've never seen an alternative. We cannot reference one administration to say, oh, we want to go back to Tomalin or want to go back to we can't do that. So we keep going down the slope. You know what? We'll keep going down past 2029. Because we have to have a new set of politicians. You would not be hopeful for 2029 if we have a new set of politicians. Look at some of the new ones that joined there today. Lofa Julius will talk about them. They are justifying fabulous salary already. So where is the hope? You want to have good hope? If you see the election law being changed, new laws being passed, we're going digital. But we'll go with a fraud system where people can vote so many times and stop ballots because we're printing ballot paper still. Don't have hope, my sister. It will always go to the man with the biggest money. And not only the biggest money, but the man who has the criminal mind. Double system. So when you have the grandmasters of election frauds going against you, you have no hope. And that's what you experience in 2029.
Lofa.
Tomalin, it was I guess not I guess, but it was a great show, great interaction. Think our audience benefited a lot. And the great thing about the closing argument is, regardless of our, positions, we are willing to be upfront with our disagreement, but we do it in a very civil manner and to provide education to our people. So it was definitely great to, sit here today again and exchange ideas. That's how I see it. What's really on my mind is the issue of Americana and his refusal to live up to his expectation of what he promised Liberians. Americana came to be the transparency czar who claimed that he will declare and publish his assets. And up until today's date, we are yet to hear or see of Americana's asset declaration. but he's out there defending his salary. All right. Why it is important that people support those who are earning just wages that they don't, not even wages, but salaries that they are not working for. They are living at the expense of the masses. Our people are living in abject poverty. Okay. They have turned the word masses to something else that I would not like to pronounce on here. Our people have been victimized, and these things are considered okay to them. The issue of Kwame Weeks, it's disgraceful to see that a young man who would have exhibited some level of innovation, okay, the innovative thoughts, on your part to come to an institution and say, let me change the way things are done, utilizing technology. I thought that Kwame would have done the best thing, or just said due diligence, leave behind a legacy so that tomorrow people can say, you know what? That agency never had this means of communication. You know whose idea it was? It was Kwame's idea. Regardless of how they attempt going at him to repossess that, that is his legacy. That should have been his legacy, because his kids will live and celebrate that it was my dad's innovative idea that got this platform to where it is today. You're only benefiting. That would have been his contribution. To have him sit, to even get to the extent where he changed the name. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So now he have just literally got himself in the category of Amara Conan, Darius DeLoyne, now Prince Stoll, and other who are taking bribe from the executive branch and pretending to be in the interest of Liberians. It's sorrowful. This is pathetic. Tomalin George, Sis Grace, Kalibo, if any one of you are ever asked to go to Liberia and work, please go out there with a desire to transform Liberia and leave the level of transformation for the next generation of people to pick up from. That is how good leaders are determined. Good leaders are determined based on their impacts, okay, with the agency or whoever they work for, not simply because it benefits you directly. President Joseph Numa Boakai, I close on this note. Thus far, you have shown to be without much experience, no experience at all. Based on your performance, if I were to do performance evaluation, I would say to you today, you have failed miserably. You are yet to do anything to prove to me that you intended to rescue Liberia. The rescue mission should have had an agenda that should have been established from day one and running forward to change what we had in place. Unfortunately, we see nothing promising thus far. It is embarrassing. I can't say much, but I'll leave it at this point and say thanks to all of you guys for tonight's contribution. It was great. We'll be back here again on Wednesday.
Okay, Lofa, because of I would personally reach out to Amara to invite him to come on the show.
What?
I'll reach out to him to invite him.
Is he coming when he coming? Is he coming when he
I'll personally reach out to Amara to invite him to come and even DeLong to come and address all the issues you guys are raising. I would do it personally. I would start from tonight. But guys, again, we had a great show. But before, let me just say, one of our panelists, he's been busy. Johnny K and Debbie, he said, I want to say thanks to all you guys for the show. He expressed his thanks to all of you guys. He will join us someday. He's busy with the Carter Center, so he's working hard. So, but he always watched the show and he supports us a lot. But he want to express his thanks to us. And one thing is that one of the things is that most of the people that supported the rescue agenda, they're coming on any platform to talk again because I think they are all having issues. They're not coming. But let's see what happens. But lastly, guys, over the last few days, we lost some young people. I just want to say that I want to say our condolences We lost 2 young guys yesterday, Jackie Seaton, a former basketball star in Liberia, and one Stanley Perry. And then in the next 2 weeks, we'll be in North Carolina to bury our friend and brother Henry Duba. Bello will be there. It'll be a great guy because he touched the lives of many people. He and his mother will be buried on the same day. So all our friends in North Carolina and Charlotte will be out there to come. Your cook the fufu and soup, we can't eat it. We'll be just coming there to bury our brothers, give him a good celebration. If anybody around, we all look forward there, you know. But guys, lastly, the guy called about the gas. I thought somebody would address it, but the gas seller, he raised a good point though. These guys don't have no means of getting gas station to sell.
Let me tell you this. For me, I like to keep record. I have a very good memory. Remember L.M. Johnson Sally? When the United Party came to power? Here is what was the expectation at the time. Motorbike was flying all over Monrovia. It was under Salif, the UP government, they restricted the movement of motorcycle, I think, only to certain area in Monrovia, they can't cross. What was the reason? The pimping boys were weird people. These were the guys who made we are popular. These, how they call it, all a gas seller, that is the fall in that same category. They're just trying to take them out of, so they will be impoverished to then bow down to Unity Party. That's the whole thing.
I mean, I support the fact that people should not be selling gas in containers in the street, right? But I think before they take action and get these really people, they should at least meet with them and find a solution to where they can put them instead of just because some of them at the daily bread. Because I remember in Liberia,
because they not having it like that.
One time I wrote a taxi from Broad Street, right? The guy told me that we were in the taxi going to Singapore. He stopped. That's what happened. He said, I'm going to pay the man. I said, why? He said, oh, in the morning, I took gas from the man. So when I can't run some more, then I can't pay the man. So you see how the operating Liberia, he took gas from the guy in the morning, the guy on the sidewalk. Then when he made some money, around about 2-3 o'clock, he said, I came to pay the man for the gas I took. So the people are living one hand to mouth.
Let me say this to you. Let me say this to the listener. We always forget this thing here. We don't get it. Look at the situation in Kawa. The guys who steal all the money in the legislature, who steal all the money in the executive, they are protected. The security guard them. The guys who put $1 million in the budget for their private hospital, their private clinic, they are protected by the security. The man who was accused of just stealing corn from AEC, he lost his life. You see the picture? It's not that they are not violations, but the violation of zoning laws are taking place by the big people, and the laws, the government protecting. Then the tiny people who just trying to survive, we are harsh on them on why it was small violation, and that is my problem. I'm not saying selling gasoline is a good thing in
very sad.
I'm not saying so, but it's a violation, and look at all the violations taking place in the country by the people who they are stealing millions of dollars from the government. And you go after the tiny people who are trying to survive.
I mean, we discussed it because hopefully, I'm happy that the police director is present in the country, and I think yesterday we confirmed he will make his appearance now. He says he's in the country. Especially to talk about the traffic. Something it's good though because the issue about traffic, that three lane they got. I think the police, but to do all these things, you got to plan for it better. Plan for it because some people are leaving my hand to mouth. It's not easy. People like the gas station are talking to the gas seller. When I heard that guy called just now, he complained. He said, "How would they sell? Because you take them from the streets now. Then the next thing you find somebody selling one horse. Next thing the horse catch fire again. So you want to."
That's because Tomalin, I hate to
like for instance, look at the fire department stuff. The fire truck guys are mad. The white guys that came on the show, they're not happy. Okay, because you appointed partisans to fire department. The guy who was there, the Dixon guy that was there, we are kept in there. But we're working with that guy, they already groomed that guy. Still, look, we'll help. We already know this guy, working with him, and we'll help. But now, since the inception of this government, we'll be having series of fires all over the place. And you would think that they will keep the right people there, but you put in partisan there. I heard the other guy they put there that they don't camera man. You can't do that. You know, you can't do that. So I pray and hope that they will change. It will change one night. But we'll keep on talking about it. You should not hesitate. And I encourage every one of us here. You get information, you bring it forward. You be on who you bring it forward. What are the president, vice president, the speaker, the protest, anybody you bring it, let's discuss it. Like, remember, yeah, you know, that will talk it instead of keeping it because somebody will be hurt or somebody will be good. But no, bring it forward. And we're not saying you know. And you saw, I mean, Lofa brought an issue here, we discuss it. Yeah, Lofa bring more evidence tomorrow. We'll talk about it. We'll not run for it. You know, but again, just will not come just accuse people falsely. Let's bring the evidence on them and produce it. Like right now, there's an issue I'm working on right now, but working right now. There was some contract being given to some people. I got some document, but I want to do due diligence. I want to find out really to compare the document before we come forward with it. So right now, look, let us be the watchdog for the people, guys. But again, we say thank you and look forward to seeing you guys.
Tomalin, please don't forget to say thanks to the LRA boss thus far for standing up.
Oh yeah,
good job.
But from the day of Calabo, I respect Calabo a lot. When Calabo said like, man, he get work on.
And the
guys are before you.
I can use that
guys are member principal. Double Jazz is a member principal. Seriously, he's a member principal. When he says something, he mean it. He's somebody who you, so that's somebody I respect. Well,
I thank God he did because it was a total mess. I went there before, and while I went there,
You'll be on 6 months. I don't want to be a new place. You know why he did? Let me tell you the new thing he did. When the boss took over, they brought gas slip to him. He said, "No, I'm just in Monrovia. This is too much." I didn't hear it from you. Staff from LRA called me to say, like your brother that Corrado. He said, "No, I don't want it. We got to call it down. Why do you give such a gas slip to one person?" So then the staff also told me that he told him, said, education. Why should education allowance be based on position? Because you're going to the same school, the school costs the same. The tuition is the same. So whether you commissioner, you're going back to school, and the other person, a janitor, going back to school, they should still get the same educational grant. The salary is not the same, but the educational grant should be the same because the tuition does not, they don't say, oh, they want a commissioner tuition, they want a janitor tuition. And you change it. So,
all right, guys. All right.
I mean, I hope everybody can find us something, but nice.
Correct.
I hope find a footstep. All right. We'll see you guys,
all right,
man.
Henry, you have yourself a good night, all right?
Thank you, Henry.
I need to talk to you, Lofa. Will you call me after you close the show?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, please do. We need to talk on that chat we're doing yesterday.
Well, have a good evening.
Somebody say you tell you what you want to talk to me about.
I think this is all the time we have to deal with here tonight on the closing document. It has been very, very much fascinating, educative, and informative. The time is exactly 17 minutes down 12 o'clock. Let me say thank you for your listening role. Thank you for following always True FM 96.1. We broadcast live on Dupont Road, Pennsville, outside the nation's capital church, Monrovia. Join us on Wednesday. I wish that we're going to be at same time, same station. Let me say many thanks to the team that Hot FM 107.9 for reading this program. The team that True FM 96.1 in Nema County, Sacred for also reading this program. It has been so much fascinating. For the on behalf of the team, my name is Heron Jala. Join all this coming Wednesday. I wish I'm going to be here again with another edition of Closing Document. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. For our online viewers, thank you so much for viewing. Let me say bye-bye.
yesterday. You want everyone to see. When you flash that bed, you want everyone to worship you. I got no time to worship human